Yo, what up, Alex? How you doing, Jadu? I noticed your absence on Monday. What's going on? Was I absent on Monday? What was I doing on Monday? I think I just slept like shit, dude. I think I was just like I had a really fucking bad night of sleep. And then I got like a wind of energy late in the night, and then I ended up just sort of ended up editing a reel. Boba washed. Speaking of washed, I had a little story. I'm gonna tell you guys after we run these ads, though. See you after a few messages from our sponsors. Bye bye. Well, not you, Jadu, and probably not you, Boba, and probably not you, LNX. Anybody who's in a non-ad region, I guess, is unaffected by this. But whatever. Also, I bought a new nib. I got more pen nibs. My pen nib is no longer fucked, and it feels so weird to draw on it. I've been drawing on the same pen nib for probably 5 years now, which is kind of insane because I don't think you're supposed to really use them that long. But I have put this thing through its paces, dude. I've abused the fuck out of this pen nib. Nice, nice. Dude, I saw your 8 point turn. I will go over it today, so remind me if I forget in like an hour or something. Also, why are you doing 8 point turns, bro? You're just like torturing yourself for no reason. It's so overkill. You try to animate it? I feel like at this point you might as well just animate it. And then when you watch it play through, that'll tell you where all your mistakes are, you know? I recently got a new Wacom pen, and it's really weird to draw on my tablet again. Interestingly, though, I got the pen for no reason because the part I needed for my old pen was easily replaceable for a much lower cost. Interesting. My pen, I've had the same pen for a while. Like it's very worn down. Like the buttons are all fucked. It's the slim pen. I like the twink version of my pens. Why is this? This is like scratching my tablet right now. Are they supposed to do that? Maybe they are. Huh. It's very scratchy. So weird. My other one was like butter, dude. Oh, I think it's just because I cleaned my screen just now. Anyways, yeah, my I have the slim pen. It looks like the classic pen, but it's just like thinner. I like the thinness of it. I like my pens like I like my men, dude. Twinked up. That's just a slogan. That's not reality. I switched back to my old brush. I just kind of I like the fit. I still like the look of my old sort of pencily looking brushwork. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of that today, and then probably tomorrow or the day after, we'll get into doing some more animation. But right now, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of drawing. We're gonna be drawing this babe here. They should call it the Wacom Twink Pen. Yeah, they should call it the Wacom Twink Pen. That would really help with sales, I think. Probably. I'm putting on a classic Eminem playlist right now. So if you hate Eminem, I'm sorry. Okay. I should probably drop my Discord notification, huh? My bitrate looks like it looks like shit, dude. Why is my bitrate so bad? Whatever. Not important. Hopefully I don't cut out or be weird. About damn time. What up, Ian Soka? How you doing, big dog? You miss me? You miss me that bad? You need a little snack in your life? I get it. Yeah, so I today had to go to the dry cleaners because I have a big meeting on Monday and Tuesday, and and I need to get my suit cleaned. And I took too long to bring it to the dry cleaners. So the guy's like, it'll be ready on Monday. So I guess Monday I'm just gonna have no suit. Or I'm gonna be running out of the building to get my suit at the last second, which is gonna suck ass. But I also had the sketchiest fucking experience with going to the dry cleaner. So I call this guy because he looks like he's close by to me. Okay, I call him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's in the grocery store." And I'm like, "What? Your dry cleaner's in the grocery store?" First of all, in my mind, I'm like, "That sounds like a food hazard, big time. Cleaning like dry cleaning chemicals next to a grocery store. That sounds insane." But I was like, "Fuck it, whatever." So I go in. I asked the cashier, I'm like, "Hey, dude, where's the dry cleaners? I don't see it." And he's like, "Oh, you just leave your suit with me?" I call the guy and he picks it up. And I'm like, okay. So, anyways, if I end up on the news for committing crimes, it's because I'm killing this store clerk for stealing my suit. Unlikely to happen, I think, because I know where he works, but very weird experience. I'm probably never going to go to this place ever again because I don't know where the fuck they're taking my suit, which is the problem. Okay, I want to know where my suit is. Eh. Goddess of my basement. They just quit their work after taking your suit. I mean, it's not that expensive. It's not a cheap suit, but it's definitely not gonna pay for their retirement. But yeah, so hopefully I don't get robbed. That would be I would really like to not be getting robbed. Okay, that's like a thing I don't want. I have another suit. I don't know if it's clean though. I can't remember when the last time I wore it was, and I think I'm too fat to fit in it now. I don't know. We'll see. Who's robbing you? My suit dealer, or my not my suit dealer. I had to take my suit to the dry cleaner too. But you just missed my entire 5 minute story. Okay, I took my suit to a dry cleaner, and I called the guy, and I'm like, "Where's this dry cleaner, dude?" I'm like, at the address. I don't know like where the dry cleaner is, and he's like, "It's inside the grocery store." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And so I go in. I talk to the cashier, and he's like, "Yeah, you leave your suit with me, and then the guy will pick up your suit and bring it back." I'm like, okay. And so I'm hoping I don't get my suit stolen. The guy also said he would have it ready for Monday, but I'm doubtful. I really am very sort of sussed out right now that I gave my suit to a bunch of strangers that have like a very weird system that I don't like. I would have gone to my normal dry cleaner, but the issue is he's not open on Sunday. And last time he had me pick it up in the afternoon, but he closes at like 2 tomorrow, so I don't think he's gonna get it done. I don't know why he would close at 2. Who does that on like a Saturday? Turns out the cashier guy just needed a new suit. Yeah, well, I don't think that guy's gonna fit in my suit. I'm gonna be real, not to fat shame or anything, but bro, how did Eminem get so bad, dude? Early 2000s Eminem was so fucking fire, and now he's so goddamn mid. Snag, do you want to critique the drawing I just did? I forgot a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. I will. Okay, I gotta do Jadu's first because Jadu I think posted first, unless he posted after you. Yeah, Jadu posted first, so I'm gonna go over Jadu's first, and then we'll do yours. Okay, Eddie? But I think I'm gonna warm up a little bit drawing this lady here, and then I'll jump into those. So, Yeti, if you come back in like a half hour, we'll get into critiques or hang around or whatever you gotta do. It's probably fine. Probably, it's just a very weird system. It's probably because he became successful, and as with black people, all of his music talent came from the struggle. All of his, yeah. You think he lost the edge when he got rich? Snack, you're wrong. I'm really not. Okay. Early 2000s Eminem was peak. All right. This version of Eminem, peak. Okie dokie. No worries. What's your argument, Alan? Next, let me hear it. What do you like? Modern Eminem? Modern Eminem. If you like modern Eminem, that's the weirdest take I've ever heard. I think on Eminem, anyways. I don't meet a lot of people who are very into modern Eminem. His music used to be so catchy. I think like all those dudes just used to be so much better. I think they just didn't give as much of a shit. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I watched a very interesting video essay saying that Eminem was the last true countercultural anti-system artist the white people had, and when he stopped being that guy, a lot of the rage outlet for Midwestern teenagers disappeared. It's possible. I definitely listened to a lot of Eminem when I was a teenager, and it's because he sort of scratched that like cathartic itch of being like just like the fucking edge lord, and there weren't a lot of edge lords back in the day. I gotta figure out what layer I drew these lines on. I'm trying to get rid of these lines. It was the age of edge back then. I think the one thing that Eminem had was that he was a white boy, okay? And he was like, he came on the scene and he killed that shit, dude. He just also had a lot of controversy around him and stuff like that too, so he was like always pretty active in the media, but yeah, he's become like such a fucking like boomer. I don't know, like it's just like imagine rapping about Trump and politics. Look, I'm not a big Trump guy myself, but like it's just kind of cringe. I don't know. He went from like calling people slurs and just being like a fucking lunatic to just being like your middle-aged like aunt on Facebook. And I think that's sort of that's what killed it for me. I don't know. It's like he lost it along the way. He was also one of the first major artists to reference current events in his music as they were happening, which I find quite interesting. Yeah, maybe. I could believe that. But yeah, also guys, I've started making TikTok and YouTube content. I'm like a little freaking influencer now, isn't that something? Kind of crazy. We're transitioning. You heard it here, folks, dude. Snacks transitioning. I'm now an influencer. Okay, it's my new identity. Oh my god, what? Yeah, dude. I didn't post on my Instagram. I'm trying it out on my YouTube because I don't give a shit about my YouTube as much. But I also have a TikTok. But on my YouTube, I posted a reel. I posted two reels actually. One of them's kind of dumb. I think I'm just gonna like go down the tutorial route. The first one, just like trying to be funny. I just don't think it hit the mark very well. But Snack used to be so cool and edgy, and now he's just a soulless influencer. Now, sad. Yeah, the worst part is I'm not even making money. If I'm gonna sell my soul, I might as well make some money. You know? You're trans. That's right. That's right. I'm an influencer now, Yeti. I've always, deep down in my heart, known I was an influencer. Okay, for as long as I've been alive, I've known I was an influencer. I just wasn't. I didn't have like the courage to come out and become one. You know, this is getting too on the nose. Snack's no longer a furry. He's trans. I'm collecting it all, dude. I'm gonna be the final boss of woke, dude. I'm telling you. I'm gonna update my fucking Twitter bio, put every woke flag in my bio. It's over. Hey, big boss. What up, Baz? How you doing? The final touch for me to become like an art influencer is to put in my bio, do not repost my art. I know some people do that, guys, and I don't mind if people do it. I don't have anything against it. I just don't think people who repost art give a shit. That's sort of my view. It always feels like, it's like trying to tell a criminal not to rob you. It's like they know they're not supposed to do it. I just don't think they care. So that's sort of how I see like that those bio things where they're like, don't repost. I like the gesture on this. I'm some shadiest. I'm the real shady. Please stand up. Can't he be a trans furry? Yeah, that wouldn't be that unoriginal, to be quite honest. Now, if I were to go fucking mega internet brained, okay, I'd have to go trans, furry, and Nazi. Okay, that trifecta, it exists, guys. It exists. I gotta fix the leg shape a little bit. Trans furry Nazis, exactly. Epic band name, by the way. Does this mean he transitioned into a furry? No, I've transitioned into an influencer, which is worse. Much, much worse. Oh, hell yeah. Bring back edgy snack. I've always been edgy. What are you talking about? Always was. I'm just tastefully edgy, you know? That's it. Are you gonna start making get readies with me? No, that'd be really funny though. Get ready with me, and it's just me putting on underwear and sitting in my chair eating Doritos all day. That'd be a good bit. I want to do YouTube snack, but I need a channel for that. You want to do YouTube, but you need a channel for that? Then make one. Unless you're asking me for my channel, in which case that's a very indirect way of asking. Who? Am I tripping? Did we not just listen to this? No, we listened to the real Slim Shady. They sound very similar. Speaking of choking on my own spit. Speaking of, where's your mouse? Oh yeah, I totally forgot to pull him up. Bro, that game on my Steam right now looks like I love it, dude. I've played PNG Tuber Plus for 3,497 hours. And 108 hours in the last 2 weeks. Because I never turn it off. I always forget to turn it off. Okay, guys, I've got ideas, okay, for my next reel. Because my last reel was basically how to draw eyes in perspective, right? It's basically like how to like rotate an eye, okay? And I thought my advice was pretty good. Okay? I thought it was pretty good. Now I'm trying to wonder what could be my next reel. My next reel, I have an idea, and it's gonna basically just revolve around the importance of negative space, okay? That's probably what I'm gonna do for my next reel. But the one after that, I think what I'm considering doing is doing eye direction and how to find eye direction. On the third try, my tweet with that ugly meme free ring got over 20K views, but I have no idea how to repeat it. It just happened randomly. I don't know how the Twitter algorithm works at all. I'm slowly discovering the YouTube one. To be honest, Reels could be anything as long as they have crazy zoomer editing. You would think that, but the thing is, YouTube analytics are very, very good. Okay, so my first reel was a story about me being the ultimate wingman for gay boys. Okay, and it didn't do terribly, but it didn't do great. Okay, and so my second one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try the tutorial niche because I had some feedback from some chatters in the community that were like, you know what, I'd like to see you do tutorial content. So I was like, fuck it, we're doing tutorial content. So the second one, I focused on tutorial. The one thing is, I think it was too long. I think there was too much exposition sort of in the middle. And I don't think that like my joke really landed or whatever. Because I'm looking at my analytics and there's a lot of drop off when I start chatting too much. And so my next plan is basically to do another tutorial, but I'm going to make it a lot shorter. Probably under 50 seconds instead of like a minute and a half. I'm going to make it have like a hook, I guess. Like something clickbaity. And I think ethically, I think clickbait's totally fine on YouTube, so long as there's a payoff. I think if I clickbait somebody and like, you know, the content of the video actually provides some sort of value, then it's okay. And it's related to the clickbait, then it's okay. If you clickbait and then it's nothing, like if I'm like, you 3 things you have to do to get better at art, okay? And then I start showing images of King Charles the dog or whatever, okay? That's gonna piss people off. But I think if I actually give 3 tips, it'll be paid off. I'm probably not gonna do that type of clickbait, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's only really annoying clickbait if I feel like my time's wasted. That's right. So that's how I feel too. I feel like clickbait's fine. Please, can you start a Colosso or Skillshare course and advertise it every video? Please, please, please. $800 per week price. Maybe in the future. I will say making a course one day is in the cards, but not anytime soon. I'd like to improve a lot more before I start offering more expensive premium products. But I wouldn't be opposed to selling my soul and promoting it on TikTok, Dave. So, you know, I know you're being sarcastic, but I'm also unironically soulless. So I'm going to give the whole influencer thing a shot. We're going to try it out, honestly, for a few months, at least. And then if it absolutely goes fucking nowhere, then maybe I'll just deem it's not worth my time and stop. But for now, we're going to be an influencer, okay? I should probably check my YouTube comments, huh? Hi, this came up on my For You page, so hi, what up, Inky? How you doing, big dog? Sorry I didn't see your message. I don't look at my YouTube chat very often. Most of my chat's over on Twitch, but I'll be nice. I'll pay attention. Okay, I'm doing my best, Inky. I'm doing my best. It is weird that my live came up on your For You page though. Wouldn't your For You page be like mostly like shorts and stuff? That's my impression of For You, but maybe I'm incorrect. On YouTube, the main thing is to make surprise, cringeworthy faces on the thumbnail. It seems to work. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a face. I mean, I do. I guess I'm a little mouse guy, but I don't have like a soy pog face. I think your tutorial should depend on who your audience is. If you're looking for beginners, that's gonna be how to draw a cube or how to draw anything type tutorials. It's gonna be sort of mid. It's stuff that I think is just like stuff that genuinely to me I think is valuable, right? So if I'm like, and this is the next tutorial, okay? So this is a sneak peek into the next reel. All right. So what's valuable to me? I had a TikTok comment that was like, how do you tell eye direction? And I replied in the TikTok comment. I replied under it, and I was like, "Look, so the way that I would do it, I'm gonna switch brushes just so I can bang this out a little quicker. Is like, let's say you have an eye, okay? I'm just gonna draw a quick little eye here. I'm gonna do, I'll do a little eyelid or whatever. Okay, so let's say you have an eye like this. If you want to draw eye direction, this is sort of going to be the concept of the next tutorial. So the idea with eye direction is you want to have scleral show, and the negative space around the scleral show is what's going to determine your eye direction. And so a neutral eye typically is going to have a lot of scleral show. For those who don't know what scleral show is, it's how much of the white of the eye is showing. The sclera is the white of the eye, therefore scleral show, right? So if I have a big ass eye like this, and I'm just gonna draw it like this, okay? Actually, did I draw on the same layer? No, I drew on a separate layer. Good. Okay. So a neutral eye is gonna have a little bit of scleral show here on the bottom. Now, let's say he looks to the right. You're gonna have a lot more scleral show on the opposing side of where he's looking at. So if I'm taking this eye here and I'm making him look to the right, okay, you're gonna have a lot more negative space of the sclera showing here. So you're going to get all this here, right? And that's sort of how you determine eye direction. And then there's other aspects where it's like, let's say you draw like a center line through the eyeball, okay? If the majority of the iris, or the pupil, I guess, if the majority of the iris and pupil are below this horizon line, then you end up in a scenario where you're looking at something below your height, okay? So that's sort of how you would determine that, because you're looking down now. And if you're looking down at an extreme angle, Change the Throne over on YouTube. Hey, what up, big dog? Welcome in, welcome in. We're doing a little tutorial on eyeballs right now. And so what I would do is, let's say you want to show him looking down. Well, what you would do in that circumstance is you would just make sure that you have more scleral show up at the top here. And it's going to also depend on expression, right? Like in this case, you're probably going to want to lower the eyelid a little bit. Because what happens is the eyeball isn't perfectly circular. The eyeball's actually has like a point to it. And so whatever direction the eye is looking is going to influence the curvature of the eyelid. So the eyeball, if you look at it from the side here, it's like a literal eyeball. And then you've got sort of, it looks like a titty. It's not a titty, but like you've got like the fucking cornea here, which is basically the lens that absorbs the light. Okay, it sticks out, and so what happens is when you have that pushing on the eyelid, it's going to change the curvature of the eyelid. So an eye looking in a certain direction is going to push the curve or the apex of the eyelid over. Right. So if he's looking this way, it might shift the lid over that way. Right? Whereas if he's looking the other way, or down even, you might inverse the curve a little bit now. Right? So that's sort of like a way to think about it. Art indeed, Chains of Thone. How do you do that directional texture thing with the hair? This stuff? Hey, sir, how you doing? How you doing, Pat, over on YouTube? The way you do the texture stuff is, I don't know, that one's a tough one for me to explain because it's almost intuitive. But basically, what I do is let's say I have a sphere, okay, and I want to do it to a sphere. It's a weird looking sphere, but just pretend it's a nice looking sphere, okay? Can you try not to cuss? My nana is around me. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not gonna not cuss just because your nana's around you, dog. I appreciate you watching me and stuff, but you're probably too young. We're an 18 plus stream, dude, so I'm gonna have to say no bueno on that one. The cussing continues. Just get earbuds. Or actually, don't even watch me. If you're hanging out, if you're living with your nana, dude, you can't be watching me. You're too young. But okay, so to explain the texture thing, so basically what I'm doing is I'm picturing I'm just doing like straight lines, essentially. By the way, if you're this kid's nana and you're listening to me right now, I'm an 18 plus stream. You should take his phone away from him. You shouldn't let him listen to me. I believe in you, Nana. Don't listen to him, okay? He shouldn't be here. What you been up to lately? Not much, dude. Working a lot lately. And, I've made some reels this week that is clearly it's brought in a few new people. So, otherwise, not much. Just the usual. Just the usual. What have you been up to, Pat? Swear harder? Like a sailor, dude. But okay, so the pattern, there's no pattern. So the way it works is basically I do like these lines here, and typically wherever these intersect, I basically just start another direction, okay? And I just do that the whole way through. So you see how there's like a point here? Well, I'm basically just gonna create like a hypotenuse going through that point. And then if I feel like it's too flat to continue that, see, I'm just doing like a hypotenuse everywhere. Everywhere I see little triangles, I do a little hypotenuse. Is that the fucking word for the long side of a triangle? Hypotenuse? Or am I just saying stupid shit right now? I saw the eye reel. Nice stuff. Some of those tips that are like one line is great and easy to remember. Yeah, I think I'm going to try and do more snack size. That's not a pun, but yeah, I'm going to try and do more snack size tutorials. Little bite-sized tutorials. But that's essentially it, Jadu. I'm just sort of, I'm doing these lines, and see, now I'm spotting a little sort of triangle point here. So I'm just going to go against that. And sometimes I feel like, the one thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the spacing between them fairly even. And I kind of fucked that up. Like, these lines here are not as, like, these are way more narrow, and it just sort of makes it feel a little weird. But that's sort of what I'm doing. Snack size tips? Yeah. Oh, my little snack tip. There you go. That is not a bad idea. Maybe I'll throw that into the next reel. I'll be like, all right, we're gonna drop a new snack size tip. Oh, brother. I've been doing stuff for my short and doing some freelance work as well. Been loving how the designs are turning out. Kind of feel like I found my style. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Have you posted anywhere? I'm kind of curious. I like your style. The way you draw, dude, it reminds me a lot of like sort of like indie animation projects, and stuff like that. More like hypotenuse. Got him. All right, ban this guy. Time you and Soka out, would you? I like your art. It's cool. Thanks, Chain. You could split the videos into 4 parts, each posted separately. Oh shit, Basic Not Acidic. You give me a little subscribe there on Twitch. Thank you for the sub, dude. Thank you for the sub, Basic Not Acidic. You could split the videos into 4 parts, each posted separately. I like the idea of just having something clean, concise, and just like to the point, right? I wanted my goal, Dave, with my reels, or what it's gonna be essentially, is the goal is gonna try to cram as much detailed information as I can into like an under 1 minute time slot. But yeah, anyways, Jenny, this is basically what I'm doing the whole way through. And what you find is when you do it this way, and you just focus on these like, you end up sort of contouring the shape. I mean, I kind of like went a little off with these ones here. Now these they're not really like hatching or anything. I just kind of like the look of it. I like the texture it gives. I struggle with accepting my art. Well, look, Chain, I'm gonna be real with you, dog. The reality is, like, art is going to improve over time. I was not a fantastic artist when I started drawing, and I started drawing pretty late in life. I started drawing when I was like in my early 20s, right? And then what happened was I sort of, committed to it, worked really hard, and I improved my stuff over time. But the key to improving, Chain, is to Learn from the things that other people already know. I started at 5. Hell yeah, dog. I hate my art. I hate your art too, Boba, so don't worry about it. You're not wrong about that one. Kind of cool that you have like two extremes, the concentrated shorts and the long form stream. Yeah, I want to do right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna focus on shorts. Okay, I'm not gonna do any sort of long form content. I kind of want to find my niche a little bit with the shorts, and then I might try dabbling with long form content. But I want to see if I can get some traction off the shorts, and then we'll go from there. That's sort of the plan, anyways. But how to draw a face, part 1 of 47. Yeah, that's another thing that I kind of struggle with right now with the short stuff is I have this like this sort of ambivalence or this hesitancy to take stuff that's already been done before, you know? Like there's a strong temptation to make a Loomis method tutorial, right? But it's been done like a bazillion times. But you know, it hasn't been done by me, so you know, I don't know. Anyways. Sorry, Pat, I missed your message. I've been doing stuff for my short and doing freelance work as well. Been loving how the designs are turning out. Kind of feeling like I found my style. Oh, okay. Not really. We'll send you some stuff on private. All right, don't worry. I won't share it with anybody, okay? If you DM it to me, all good. I get too frustrated. Well, look, Chain, here's the thing, right? Everybody gets frustrated. And if you watch my streams a lot, what you'll realize is I also get really frustrated. There's been times in the past where I literally had to end stream because of how tilted I was getting and how pissed off I was getting at the output that I was doing with my art. And what you realize over time is sort of that's a normal emotion as an artist. And I think if you want to get good as an artist, it's something you kind of have to accept, okay? And the sooner you accept that emotion and you get comfortable with that emotion and you really embrace the fact that it's going to be frustrating and you don't let yourself crash out, okay? And you just sort of understand that it's part of the process, that's when it becomes less power. It'll hold less power over you, dude. And then, you know, you'll sort of recognize it when it comes. And if you sort of put yourself in the mind state of not letting it like take you over and just sort of letting it lead you and just sort of understand that it's an emotion that comes and then goes, and just like other like happiness, sadness, sleep, hunger, whatever, all these things that come and go, right? And frustration is just one of those things. And sometimes you just got to take a step away and try some other shit, you know? So Jadu says, I started as a horny teenager drawing titties. Now I'm a horny adult drawing titties. How far we've come. You did not, that's not how you spell come. Horniness is the best motivation to improve. Apparently in the art circles, it is, dude. Everybody loves to draw Big Booba. I haven't gotten into my not safe for work era. Maybe one day. Not gonna lie, I almost crashed out yesterday. The 8-point turn I submitted for critique actually almost destroyed my will to continue drawing. I'm gonna be real with you, Jadu. You did a pretty good job on your 8-point turn. I was shocked at how consistent the proportions were. Now there's some stuff that's obviously we're gonna go over, but I think you kind of got in the clothing in particular. You kind of got it down, and I think it's honestly, dude. Like I see you've cleaned it up a lot, and it's so much more improved. So much more improved. Speaking of, dude, we can go over your thing and give you your little tutorial now if you want. Booyah, that's great to hear. I mean, I wish, you know, I'm gonna look up your thing right now and see what the first thing you posted was. Because I think it was this guy, basically, right? But it was like in art critiques. I'm looking through everything you've posted. I mean, this is what you sent me the first time, dude. Check this out. This is what you sent me the first time. And this is where we're at now. Where the hell? Come on, bro. There's like very I mean, I distorted your boy here. There's like very noticeable improvements here. Also, I respect the massive canvases. Like, there's very clear quality differences here, dude. Like, insane quality differences between these two. This is the first thing you posted in the Discord server. And this is where we're at now. It's been like a month and a half, 2 months. I was kind of rushing it because I wanted to also submit it to Kasem, but it turns out he wasn't doing a review today. He wasn't doing a review day today, so I guess I didn't have a reason to rush it. So the shoes are definitely messed up in a way that it doesn't need to be. Okay, well, we can go over it, all right? We'll go over it real quick. John Marquis 03 over on YouTube. Hi, what up, dude? How you doing? We're doing a little. We're gonna do a little critique for a viewer here. All right, guys. So all the new people over on YouTube. Wow, I guess the reels have been bringing people in. It's kind of crazy. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Let me delete this. Okay. And then let's get into this critique for Jadu over on Twitch. So, actually, I want to go over your. I gotta lock this in. I'm also gonna go over your head. I'm not gonna spend too long on anything, but I do. There's one particular thing I noticed that I really want to go over here. Where is it? Where the fuck is this going? Oh, there it is. I'm just gonna get rid of this guy here. This seductive boy over in the corner. I don't think we need him on the canvas. He's too... I don't want none of that on my canvas. I hope Twitch is still your favorite kid. Like most parents, guys, I don't have a favorite, okay? I love all Cloud equally. Okay, so going over this real quick. The one thing I noticed, and this is just sort of my little pet peeve, so there's two things here. The width on this guy's face, insanely wide, okay? This guy's face is super duper wide. Relative to, like, his actual, like front-on proportions. Like, 3/4 should be more narrow than this. Like, you're doing a 3/4 head. So, like, this guy's got, like, so much more width on either side of his head here. Like, look at the width between this eye and this eye. When this guy turns, this width is just going to shrink. This relationship between the plane of the head here on the side and the side of the eye, it's going to shrink. So it should be even smaller than what you have there, right? So maybe even something like this. I'd probably push it even more, but... And then the jaw here is also like again, like this relationship with that. Well, actually, this side would actually get a little wider, but I don't think it would get as wide as what you have. I just think the width is a little too much, and then I would put the ear like here-ish. I think it's just gonna feel a lot better. Put him on a diet, yeah, or like fucking use calipers and squeeze his head in. And the next thing, by the way, I really like the clean dark lines out here. I think that's the move, dude. I really dig that. Another thing is this guy. Okay, so his head, his eyebrows need to be closer to the eyes. So when you tilt your head down, if you have your brows like this, okay, and then like an eyeball like this in like a neutral place, when the head tilts down, this space here starts to become less visible. This is helping me draw a perfect face. Hell yeah, John Mark Huey. I appreciate it. Oh man, I remember giving a critique for these a couple weeks ago. Great improvement. Yeah, he's been doing good, dude. So the relationship between the brow here and the eye, when the head tilts down, is going to get smaller. The reason for that is because this here is like actually like a bone, okay? And there's like these, I mean, mine's a little stylized, but there's basically these two planes here that meet, okay? So I'm just gonna draw the planes in here just so that you get an idea. Okay, it's not exactly like this. I would look at like an actual like mannequin or something to get a better representation. Not my stylized dude, But what happens is when you tilt the head down, you're seeing more of this top plane, and any plane that's facing away from us is going to become less visible because it's going to start getting overlapped by the other planes. So I would draw a head that's tilted down, almost like with the eyes touching. You could leave a little bit of space, depending on how much he has in a neutral position. But this is going to look a lot more like he's looking like with his head tilted down now. I don't know why I decided to make this guy incredibly stylized for this example. It's not the greatest idea, but... So I would just lower this guy's eyebrows. And if he's injured, I'm gonna go now. All right, peace, John Mark Huey. I appreciate you coming out, big dog. And if he's injured, I would probably tilt the eyebrows like up a little bit, like almost like sad. I just lower it a little bit. I think your ear's a little too high. The ear's definitely gonna go up on a head tilted down. Uh, is it too high? Something's throwing me off here. Let me think. You're gonna see less of the bottom lip. Chin comes out a little bit more. I think he needs more skull back here, or better form on his hair, because the hair kind of dips in like this, and it implies that he's missing his skull there. That's sort of the issue. So when you're looking down, like if you have a normal neutral head, okay, and then you tilt that head down, you're going to see a whole lot more of this top plane here. Because all of these relationships are going to start shifting downwards, which means you're going to reveal a lot more of the top plane here. And because of that, the hair is also going to sort of emulate that form. Maybe not that extreme, but what's his normal head shape? I would probably just bump that up a little bit. Just a little extra shape there. Just to really show that there's more volume and there's an actual like skull underneath. Shisha, can I submit a sketch for critique? No, I wouldn't. I finish tomorrow and then I'll send it to you. At this point, I'm just critique addicted. Yeah, Shisha, you can drop a thing in there and I'll go over it if you want. Up to you. If you want to do it tomorrow, that's fine. We're gonna be live tomorrow anyway, so you can do it then too. Snack, do mine next. Do you have something in there? Yo, how goes it? What up, Mythically Malaki? How you doing, big dog? I was kind of rushing. Oh, I read that already. Yeah, I think it might be a bit too far back, but I was finding it hard to place it when I also did the bandages first. Another thing you could do is you could use the bandage to indicate the form. So I don't know if you've noticed on this girl here, one thing I'm doing is I'm trying to use the pants, and I reduced the opacity on the layer, but like these lines here, okay, they're there to inform the shape of the character, okay, and the shape of the form that they exist on. Like these pants wrap there on purpose because it's such a complex pose that having the sort of clothing indicate the contour of the shape really sort of helps the illusion sell. Okay, so I think you can actually use the bandage. Did your song not queue up? Oh, weird. Let me manually add it. I'm probably having an issue with my Songify real quick. Disney, Shakira, Zootropolis 2. Okay. Let me get that. Zootropolis 2. Disney Shakira Zoo Zootropolis 2. At the queue. I'm just gonna skip ahead to Yeti's song because we skipped their song. And then I'm gonna restart my Songify because it's probably gonna be bugging if that's the case. Ah, give me a second here. Bear with me, guys. I'm just logging into my Songify. Uh-huh. Oh, now I gotta go check my authenticator app. God, there's so many fucking steps I gotta follow. All right, give me a second. We're almost there. We're almost there. Authenticator. Okay, Song and Twitch are now connected. You can close this page. All right, will do. Okay, let me see here. Let me try and drop a song in here, and then see if it works. I don't know. I'm gonna take the same exact song that Yeti just did. Copy link. Okay, and then let me see if that worked. Okay, that worked. All right, excellent. I don't want to listen to that song though, so we're gonna skip it. But okay, song requests seem to be working. All right, all right. Back to business. Back to business, boys and girls. So, like I said, anyways, he just needs more skull up here, and what you could do is with the bandage is just sort of if you change the curvature on the bandage here to be a little bit more aggressively curved, it'll sell what? It'll sell the angle a little bit better, I think. If you did something like this, maybe not that extreme. I think your bandage here has too much volume. So if you see how this is sticking out as much or that much, a bandage doesn't have that degree of thickness to it, right? A bandage is going to be skin tight. It's going to be barely poking off of the shape of the skull. So this needs to adhere a lot more to the shape of the head. You can add a little bit of volume to it, but not much. I also think my angle's a little off. Your angle's a little bit better. But in general, shrink that bandage in. It's too much. And then you can have the hair blood out of that, you know? Rest in peace, mouse as well. Where'd my mouse go? What the fuck? Oh my god. So many technical issues. Okay, now I'm going to go over your 8-point turn real quick. I'm not going to go over it all, obviously, because we'd be here for the next 3 streams, and that would suck. But what I want to say is it looks good. I think The mouth looks weird to me. The bottom half of his head just kind of looks weird to me. I also think you got to watch your proportions on the width here, on the heads and stuff. Snack's getting hacked left and right. I'm not. I do got to check where my freaking mouse is though, because I just popped him back up. Come on, mouse. There you are. You stupid little rat. There you are. Oops. Okay. Yeah, there's something weird about the bottom half of the head here. I think your mouth is like weirdly shaped. Or you need like three dimensionality here. The lip I think is like too low. And the chin is like too big. Look at the width of this guy, the height of this guy's chin and the height of this chin. It's just like way different. I think also if we're looking at sort of the elevation here on the eye, look at the angle you have on this eye here. Okay, we're getting this is like pixel art level territory, okay? But look at the angle on the eye here. The corner of the eye is higher than the inner eye. They're pretty even here. If anything, the corner is like they're more or less the same height. So you need to fix that. And then it's gonna be a little bit more on model. So these are the little things that you need to keep an eye on because these are gonna make your turnarounds and stuff feel really wonky. Okay, so watching for these things is gonna help sell things. Also, another thing, whenever you're doing a 3/4 head, push the eyebrow past the corner of the eye. We talked about this a little bit, so this is a little bit of a rerun or a little what do they call it? What's the term when you show the same show again on TV? It's a rerun, right? So bring that brow forward a little bit. Try and show your 3D forms a little bit better. Right now, everything feels a little flat. Like, I don't see the shape of the skull here. I'm looking at the sort of the nose, the brows, the side of the head, all these planes here. They're all sort of lining up in the same spot. But these all have different little bumps and ridges. The brow's going to stick out more, you know? This is going to sort of emulate more the shape of the brow. And it's going to have a curvature here as, like, you know, it wraps into the nose, all this stuff. So try and think more three-dimensionally when you're applying this stuff. So what I was trying to do is have his head like tilted slightly back, kind of as if he's waving towards someone in the distance. But I think that might have been the wrong choice for a turnaround, which is supposed to be more neutral pose. But I don't know. Yeah, 100%. A turnaround should not even really have like that much expression in it. You can add expression. You can add a little bit of character to a turnaround. There's no point in doing anything too extreme. When you want to flesh out the character's personality, you're gonna do that through like acting poses and stuff like that. Or like usually they'll bang out like 5, 10 like dynamic drawings of the character like running or jumping or being sassy or whatever. That's where you want to flex the personality. The turnaround is basically think of this. Let's say Jadu, you're a director, okay? And you need to provide something to your rigging team, or like let's say you're doing a 3D show like Arcane. You got to provide some information to your rigging team, and you have to provide or some information to your 2D rigging team, or even your 2D animators. You need to give them a template that they can go to and that they can reference to get the proportions right. And that's what a turnaround is all about. That's the whole point of a turnaround, is to basically give a character a reference sheet that works from all angles that they can use whenever they're tackling something a little bit complex that they can go to and go back to. So there's no point in doing crazy personality in your turnarounds. It's just not. It's kind of overkill for no reason, and you're making your life harder. You're making the rigger's life harder. You're making the animator's life harder. I just wouldn't do it. true. I just felt weird drawing a character that felt very stiff. Maybe there are neutral poses that feel more natural in a standing position. Yeah, it's tough because a lot of turnaround posing is like very subtle. I would just say what you do is you offset sort of the shoulders and the hips. That would be sort of the move. And if you did something like that, then it would probably feel a little bit less stiff. And then you could have this leg sort of, this would be the load bearing leg, let's say. And then this leg could come out. That's one way you could do a turnaround with a little bit more like style to it, where you just basically do some contrapposto in the shoulders and hips. But in general, they're gonna be a little stiff. They don't have to be. Modern day James has very good like turnarounds where they somehow don't come off stiff at all, but they are. You know what I mean? Like the pose is very neutral, but it's not stiff. It's neutral, is what I should say. Width of his skull is a little small. I think he needs more brow here. This needs to tilt back. The forehead like tilts back like this. The forehead doesn't really like stay flat and then curve up. It's angled back. And you have it here, so you know that. You have it here. I see you doing it here. But you're not doing it here. The skull also sort of is longer, like the width of the skull. So if you're looking at a skull from the front, it's gonna look like pretty circular, maybe with the sides shaved off or whatever, if you're going Loomis style, right? But if you're looking at it from a profile view, it's gonna get a lot wider. So this is the front view, but when you're looking at it from the profile, it's gonna be more like an oval. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever you're doing like one of these turnarounds and you're doing a profile head. So this guy's head needs to be a little bit wider. Actually, I think the width is okay. I just think you're doing too much volume on the lower half of the head here. And it's a pretty common mistake, but the lower half of the head is not going to be that wide. Or that tall, I should say. So his nose would be like this. Mouth would be like here-ish. Something like that. This arm here is very, very stiff. I was gonna say, if you're gonna do a profile view, and another thing I should say, you don't really have a neutral profile view. So you want to do these poses when you're doing a turnaround. And this is not like an absolute rule, but it is like a good thing to have. You want a front view. You want a profile view. You want a 3/4 view. And you kind of want a back view. I would say back view is like optional though. I would say a good turnaround is going to have all this. Okay, now if you want to do stuff in between these, you totally can. Like you're clearly doing that, but the thing is, you're doing an 8-point, but I don't really see a neutral front on. I guess I do here. It's not really that neutral though, because he's doing like a weird point thing with his foot. He's got like one arm straight up. Uh, you want a perfectly profile one, which I think is supposed to be this one, but because he's got a twist, I don't know how wide this guy is, right? It's like very difficult for me because he's twisting here. So there's like a 3/4ness to his torso. And it's not terrible, but Same with this one. It's like a 3/4 back, or not even like 3/4. It's like 2/5 or something like that. Another thing to say is there are some poses that are just not gestural. Okay, this pose is just one of those where it doesn't matter how you twist it, how you try and move it, it's not really going to be that appealing as a pose. I think a lot of people say like you need to study from life and you need to draw from life to get like a nice flowing gestural drawing, right? But what people don't mention is that not every aspect of life is always super appealing, okay? You can have dynamic movement, but the dynamic movement doesn't look that appealing. Have you ever seen snapshots of like high divers like in during the Olympics where they're just like cringing and they're making like the funniest weirdest faces ever or whatever? That's sort of like an example of like if you were gonna draw that, it's an incredibly dynamic pose, but there's not a lot of gesture or appeal in a guy tucking his legs and receiving like fucking crazy G-force. Also, Mayberry, thank you for the follow, big dog. Welcome in, welcome in. So this is just one of those poses that I don't think is salvageable. So I would just not do this pose for a turnaround in particular. I would really do these and only do other poses once you've mastered these poses, okay? Don't be fucking around with doing like 2/5 and like dynamic posing until you can get the front profile 3/4 and back of you perfect. That's what I would say. Might sound harsh, but that's what I would say. If your goal is to turn this into a project, I'm not going to get a lot of value as an animator using this reference sheet, right? So that's what I go and make those poses or clean up these poses and sort of make them a little bit more neutral. I know you busted your ass on this, so I don't want to break your little heart, but that's what I would say, honestly. Okay, you said the feet look weird. Okay, shoes are not my greatest strengths. Pat says there are a few Dota turnarounds that are pretty good reference. Okay, let me look that up. Dota turnaround pose. Yeah, there's some good ones. You can also look up anime character turns. There's a lot of those too that are just like fantastic. Okay. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the shoes. So shoes are complicated. They have a lot of different designs. I assume you're going for sort of like an Air Jordan type of Spider-Verse style basketball shoe is my guess. In which case, I would really, really recommend using a reference. One thing I'm noticing on your shoes is there's not a lot of three-dimensionality here in terms of planes. I don't see multiple planes. I don't see overlap and like all this stuff where like this is going here, the tongue is tucking behind there. These things are really going to indicate sort of the form, and they're going to let you play around with sort of shape design and appealing looks and all that stuff. Yeah, but I'm going to redo the poses and probably change the outfit but a couple times because I'm still learning how to design a good costume. Oh my god, dude. Mayberry. Thank you for the rate. What a crazy rate. Welcome in, Mayberry Art, who just followed me, has rated me with an army of people. Barry Raid, Cozy Attack, Barry Raid, Cozy Attack. Chat, are we cozy? I'm like the freaking coziest guy on Twitch, dude. Just don't look at my clips, alright? Just because they're too cozy, okay? I don't want you guys to fall asleep at how cozy and comfy I am. Crazy Raid, right when my art's getting cooked as well. Well, we're basically done. We gave you quite a bit of revisions, so I'm gonna send you these screenshots, dude, particularly around this guy. But yeah, okay, let's get a little. First of all, we gotta greet our raiders. We got Mayberry in here. Let me give a little shout out to Mayberry Art, if it hasn't been done already. Oh, it's been done already. Last category, art. Well, Mayberry, you know the drill. You know the drill. This is a stick up, dude. Where's the art at? You gonna leave me hanging, dog? Come on. Give your boy a little heart. What you got for me, Mayberry? You want to share anything from your stream? If not, that's totally cool. That's totally cool. But I'd feel bad if I didn't ask. And I'm not. I can't lie. I'm a little bit curious. Moja Nazwa1, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Art Tax, Art Robbery, dude. Stick it up. I'll share the animation I made. Oh shit, dude. All right, cool. And then you know what? I'll show you some of my animation because we were actually animating like last stream. Let's see it. Let's see it, dude. I don't know how I'm going to be able to share that, actually. I don't really have... You know what? I'm going to do it on Discord. Let me just... What I'm going to do is I'm going to post it in my Discord, and then I'm going to screen share my Discord while I play it. Just because I don't have my thing set up to share my browser. Because I don't want to... I'm so shy, dude. I don't want to dox myself, you know? I love your GIF tuber. It looks so nice. Thanks, dude. I didn't actually make it myself. I wish I could take credit, but my freaking mod did it. And, you know, when he's not around, I don't tell people he did it, but he's here somewhere. So I gotta make sure that I let people know that he did it. Okay, we gotta show credit so he keeps doing work for me in the future. His name is Boba Meyer, by the way. He's somewhere here. Boba, feel free to show yourself if you want, or don't. Whatever. While you're looking for your stuff, okay, while you're looking for your art, I guess I'll talk a little bit about myself. My name's Snack, guys. I do a lot of random designs. This is a drawing we were working on before this. We've jumped into doing critiques for a chatter. Before that, I was doing not this. This is another drawing I've done. These are a few drawings I've done, actually. Just kind of jumping all over the place. We do whatever, all right? Whatever my little heart feels like doing. Lately, it's been a lot of anime babes. Last month, actually, last couple months, we've been doing nothing but animating. And, so I'll show you guys my animation, actually. Let me pull that shit up. Give me a second here. By the way, Mayberry, if you don't swear in your chat, I apologize. I can try and be nice with your audience here, alright? I don't know how you roll, but... Let me, pull this up. I gotta find my animation file. Runway ho. I mean, you know what? It doesn't matter if I swear. We're listening to Eminem. It's not gonna get much better. So I don't think I can really, even if I don't swear, the damage is done. All right, where's this animation at? We are a PG stream, but I saw it's 18 plus. So I already warned my cuties. Okay, I'll try and be. I can't promise that I'll be PG, but I'll be rated 14 plus. How about that? All right, 16 plus. Basically, late night anime. All right, let me freaking find my timeline. We're also in the middle of chatter critiques right now. We're about to move on to the next one. So once we're done with these, I'll get back into the next one, which is gonna be yours, Yeti. Don't think I forgot about you. I'm tripping, dude. How the hell do I pull up a timeline again? I swear to God, I use clips sometimes. Ah, there we go. Oh. It's interesting that we're 18 plus because what makes us 18 plus isn't sexual content, but just the dumb shit that we can't stop saying. That we be saying. Yeah, pretty much. I like knowing that I'm talking to a bunch of adults, you know? It makes me feel like I can express myself openly and with mature topics. And I think that's sort of it. We're not really sort of 18 plus because we like to draw giant boobs. Not that we hate drawing giant boobs, okay? I'm an aficionado, I won't lie. I've dabbled. But generally speaking, it's more just because we like to delve into sort of interesting topics that can sometimes be a little bit highbrow for the younger crowds. Do a jiggle, Yeti. It do jiggle. It do be jiggling, guys. All right, I guess this... I feel like everything I just said about how we don't do sexual content just like went completely out of the window. And I completely forgot that that's a thing on my channel. Stupid of me. How could I imagine? How could I forget that? I'll share the animation I made. It kind of did. Okay, let me run this through just so that my thing is all over the friggin' place. So this is an animation that we did. We've been working on this for way too freaking long. Flat is back. Okay, we're back, baby. Don't worry. It's all flat now. We started cleaning up that last scene. We're slowly getting this thing done. But this is a little animation we did. Dude, that looks sick. Thank you, Melochi. I appreciate it. It's getting there. There's still a lot of stuff I want to fix, but, you know. I gotta bump up the opacity on the final scene, because right now it's super low opacity, so you can't actually see him doing much, but... Anyways, that's a little... Whatever, it's not important. That's a bit of the animation we've been doing. Today we're just drawing. It's not really a big animation stream, but in general. Witness me, Senpai. I see you, Codes. I see you, Codes. I know that you want me to go over your work. Don't worry. We're gonna do your critique also. Assuming you're gonna post it. I don't see it in the critiques channel. And last little pitch before we get into the next critique, and Mayberry, by the way, I don't know if you posted your animation. I don't see it anywhere. Unless I missed it. It's possible. If I did, let me know. But what was I gonna say, dude? I totally forgot. Frisky? What up, Frisky? Frisky, how you doing? Welcome in, Frisky. Thank you for the raid, big dog. I'm gonna give you a little shout out. What were you up to today, Frisky? Also, I should warn you, because you're probably my horniest chatter, okay? We've been raided by people who are PG-13, so be a good boy, alright, Frisky? I believe in you. I know you can do it. Hold it together. Just a little bit. What was I gonna do? Shout out Frisky. Frisky the 360. Dude, why do you have such a long name? Increasing the channel not found. That's probably because I put it in all caps. Okay. 6:30. Oh my god, dude. My dyslexia. I don't actually have dyslexia. I'm just stolen valor. Whatever. Anyways. Why did I just typed your name this time? I'll get it eventually, dude. Just know, in my heart, you've been shouted out already. There you go. Congratulations, you've been shouted out. You were doing art. What were you doing, Frisky? Also, we got a Discord link. Let me pull it up. Oh, cute, dude. All right, I'm gonna drop it in my Discord, and then I'm gonna show you guys the animation that Mayberry Art has done for us. Well, she didn't do it for us, but you get the idea. Let me drop that in there. Let me figure out Discord on this. There you go. Okay. Okay, we're looking at the Discord right now. Look at this, guys. Isn't this lovely? Wait, can you guys see the Discord? Or is it just showing you guys clip right now? Isn't it nice? Isn't it pretty? You are, Mayberry, you are way too adorbs for me, dude. I'm going to taint your audience. This is not good, okay? I'm like a werewolf trying to fight back being 18 plus, all right? It's the full moon is out right now, and I'm transforming, dude. I don't know. Something's coming over me, but I'm holding it together. I promise. But yeah, I think it's a sick animation, dude. Good job. You know what? I'm gonna give you a little follow. I appreciate you raiding the channel. Let me stop sharing the Discord real quick. Fuck. Just so that I don't show you guys all my naughty little messages that I don't send, because I don't do that because I'm a wholesome boy or whatever. What was I gonna do? Guys, I totally forgot. Oh, I was gonna follow you. How could I forget that? But yeah, anyways, dude. Also, Mayberry, if you gotta dip, if you gotta go to the bathroom, you gotta go make some food, you gotta go do whatever, feel free to take off. Don't hang around on my account, all right? You do your thing, all right? That startled me. Excellent. That's the whole point. I just have it ear blastingly loud. I could lower it. People beg me to all the time, but you know, I don't know. I feel like the more people ask, the less I want to do it. You know, I don't know what it is. Lose Yourself, Mom Spaghetti. Also, we don't normally listen to Eminem. I just sort of last night was like I was having a little nostalgia thing where I wanted to remember Eminem when he was good. And so I put on an early 2000s Eminem playlist. And I was listening to that last night. And it's just sort of followed me into today. But we will probably switch off of Eminem eventually, though, you know, I won't lie. I kind of enjoying it. No, it's okay. I giggled at the werewolf 18 plus thing. I'm the same on mine. Excellent. Your art style's super cool. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Your art's amazing. I love the perspective and anatomy. Thanks. I appreciate it, guys. I try. Eminem's fine. Also, Frisky, don't think I forgot about you, dude. You rated me too. We gotta give Frisky a little love. I know Frisky's very excited for that. Not that kind of love. But Frisky, if you want to share your art, assuming I could show it on my stream, Frisky, you're more than welcome to link something. Also, Mayberry, if you want to drop a link, if you got a Discord, you got a Twitter, or you got a, I don't know, Instagram, Rule 34, maybe don't drop that one. But if you got any links that you want to share, you're more than welcome to drop them in the chat, and then you can take off, or, you know, just take off, do your thing. Rest well, exactly. My thoughts exactly. When are you going to listen to Gorillaz? I don't know, dude. You can queue up whatever you want, Yeti. Nothing's stopping you. It's a free chat, kind of. Not really, but if you've got a Rule 34, DM it to me. Don't do it to him, dude. He'll send you too much money. We just listened to Gorillaz? Did we? I wasn't paying attention. Thanks? No? You don't want to share anything? Come on, Frisky. Don't be shy. You're like my least shy chatter. And now you're being all coy and shit. Alright, whatever. I won't probe. It's your life. Alright, we're going to jump into Yeti's critique. So, Dadu, I'm going to send this to you in the Discord. We're going to post this in the critiques channel. I know my lettering is flipped, but, you know, I believe that you have the technology to flip it back the other way. We've got quite a few critiques lined up. I'm going to say after code, we're going to stop with the critiques. Otherwise, this entire stream is just going to be critiques. And we're never going to draw my beautiful babe, okay? So let's jump into the next one, which is going to be Yeti, who has done a nice little lady for us here. Let me just clear this out. I'm going to drop all these into a reference folder. Not reference folder, I guess. Critiques folder. Shoot up and spit out and boot off stage. Dude, I feel like such a teenager right now. Listening to Eminem, it's crazy. I should be banned, dude. Provide the right type of life of my family, because man, goddamn. It's only a small dictatorship ship. We get to pick tunes, though, so only a little bit. I gotta give the people a little bit of what they want, dude. I can't just friggin' hammer them all the time, you know? We are a dictatorship, though. There is no democracy here. You can sometimes... Am I supposed to be tame because there are minors? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna just resume normal behaviors. And if you're a minor, I am gonna ask you to leave because you're not supposed to be here, okay? But if you just like PG-13 content, then, you know, you can hang around if you want. I won't stop you. You got an art tax evader? Throw him in the brig, dude. Throw him in the brig. Tie him up. Hoist him up, dude. Hoist him by his little furry tail. Alright? Punish this man. But not in the way he likes, alright? He's kind of he's a lunatic, alright? So don't give him what he wants. Alright, let me get rid of this timeline here. Hey, yo, what up, Slim Jim? How you doing, big dog? Boom, boom. Holy shit, all of my notes are on... What layer are they on? This, no. This, no. Brother. This, no. This, no. This, no. Yep, found it. Okay. I should probably check my YouTube chat, huh? I've been neglecting my YouTube chat a little bit. Oh, good. Nobody said anything. Excellent. That's what I like. That's what I like to see. I like to see that I'm not ignoring people. I skipped the word art when reading that, and I was thinking, how'd you know about me? Slash J, for legal reasons, I do not evade taxes. Me neither. Actually, guys, I've a very boring update. I've set up an appointment with an accountant next week because I don't know what the fuck to do about the income I've been making on Twitch. It's not like a huge amount of money or anything, but I really don't know how that's going to impact my income tax. So I got to figure that out. So that's going to be a very boring. Well, maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe I'll learn something. I'm going to keep an open mind. Thank you for the 50 bits, Mellow Chi. I'm going to dip as well now. Your stuff's way sick, though. I followed and screw it. Have some bits, too. Handing them out like candy recently. Glad May rated you. I'll be back sometimes. Yes, that is a threat. Have a great rest of your stream, everybody. All right, dude. I'll take it personally, all right? I expect to see you around, Mellow Chi. I'm going to be holding you to that. Nah, I'm just playing. All right, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you for the bits. Have a good night. And thank you for swinging by, dude. Thank you for the follow. Bye. Bye-bye. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. Yeti. Yeti, it's your turn. Oops, I'm posting in the wrong folder. There we go. I'm going to move this somewhere where there's white space. Oops. Dude, did they update CSP? I swear to God, when I used to move my thing, it didn't distort like this before. But I feel like it started doing that recently. Maybe I'm tripping. It's really annoying though. Anyways. Yeah, it's been happening to me as well. I hate it. I think they must have just like updated it or something. All right, Yeti. Let me look at this. Let me analyze it. Okay, there are some flows here, Yeti, that I think could be improved. For starters, I think the biggest one I'm seeing, and this is a testament to how well you've done this, Yeti. I won't lie. Okay, but the big one I'm seeing right now is sort of the curvatures and angle change over here on the arm. If you look at this, you've got like a sort of a nice little appealing shift in direction here on this arm, whereas I just don't feel it as strongly on yours. I just think it could be pushed a little bit more. And I think if you look at the sort of negative shape here, it's almost like a tube, whereas yours just doesn't feel as I don't know, the line quality isn't as confident. And I think that's sort of what's stopping it from being sold the way that you would like it to. Oops. What am I doing? I accidentally added a ruler to my program and could like not get rid of it for like a week. Oh my god, that sucks, dude. I've done that before, and then you end up like Googling, you're like, please, you end up on some obscure forum being like, how the fuck do I get rid of this stupid ruler? It's just like a light blue line on my canvas. It's driving me crazy. And then you're drawing and you occasionally clip it and move it around. Yeah, anyways. But yeah, so I just think the sort of like, instead of having like the arm be like this, if you had it come out more the way that hers is, it would create more of an appealing sort of shape to the arm here. It feels like there's a stronger flow coming through this arm than there is on yours. Yours gesturally is almost a little bit stiffer. Like if I look at it, it almost feels like there's like maybe a little bit of an S curve there, but it feels stronger on this one. I know it sounds really subtle, but it's also like it just, these little things really help sort of sell the appeal, I guess. Yeah, I thought the arm looked weird and stiff, but that might also help. I kind of changed the head angle because I forgot how to draw a head looking up. Fair enough, dude. You don't want to end up as the next Freerin meme, so I don't blame you. I think we're done with Eminem. I am gonna switch to something else. Guys, what do you guys want? You guys want weeb shit? I could put on like a random playlist It says 2010s mix in front of me right now. I've also got some daily mixes that are just all weeb shit. Fuck it, whatever, dude. We're doing weeb shit. It's always the safest option on Twitch. Where'd my weeb shit go, dude? It was here 2 seconds ago. I swear to God. Ah. There's my weeb shit. All right. Yo, what up, Coco? How you doing, big dog? Your vibe's giving jazz, but I don't know why. Me? I mean, this is like anime jazz, kind of. Not really. There is a saxophone though. I think. I don't know shit about instruments. Am I a jazzy fella, chat? I'll take the compliment. The Freerun meme is so good. It sure is. It's very interesting. I really like. At first, I think it actually kind of annoyed me because I felt bad for the artist. I was like, okay, dude. Because what happened was in the first couple ones, it just kind of felt like because I'm in that subreddit, so I saw it the day it came out. Okay, like I saw the original post. I was a day one on the Freerun meme. All right, and then what happened was a bunch of people kept posting their drawings, and it kind of just felt like people were just trying to show off. And I was like, just kind of feels a little mean spirited. Then I found out that the creator of the Freer meme was totally cool with it, and I was like, all right, whatever. Then fuck it, whatever. But I do feel like imagine you're just like you post some dog shit drawing, or like some beginner drawing, or something that you're kind of struggling with, and you haven't quite learned as well as you could yet, and people just start freaking memeing on you. Dog shit is a bad term. I shouldn't have used that as an example, but I just mean hyperbolically is what I was being a little hyperbolic. But what I meant essentially is just a beginner drawing where you're not sort of fleshed out on all the anatomy and the details yet, which is normal. Everybody goes through that. So I thought you played the flesh flute. Yeah, I keep thinking that, dude. I don't though. I promise, guys. I'm factory issue, pure hetero. All right. I do love this intro music. Excellent. The thing I like the most about the Freerun meme is that it's so overwhelmingly positive and community building. Yeah. All right, Yeti. Another thing is now I'm not gonna go into sort of the proportions of the figure because I mean she's kind of got like the One Piece like torso where she's just like super narrow, and I think yours is actually a little more realistic. But what I will say is the ratio on your hips could be pushed a little bit more, and I think it would help. Like even if you do like a less sort of idealized, I guess, torso, you can sell the proportions by increasing the hip a little bit more. Because it's a little blocky right now, so it feels a little bit more masculinized. Mm, how do I feel about that? I don't like that actually. I'm gonna bring this in just a little bit. We're gonna keep the width. We're just gonna bring in sort of this midsection here. That's fine. I think your leg is suffering from the same thing that your arm was dealing with sort of the lack of flow and gesture. The leg also feels a little bit stiff. When I'm looking at the gesture here, like I get there's sort of like the idea is to do a little bit of an S curve, but I think it's just sort of not hitting the same way that this model's leg is here. And if you draw a good way to check this stuff, Yeti, whenever you're doing these references, is try and notice the negative space. So if I can continue this line out, like a straight line from this hip crease past the knee, and just keep it going, look at all this negative space in here, okay? This negative space is sort of what's going to sell that gesturalness or the gesture to the pose. Whereas if I do that on yours, it's present, but it's not as present. And that these subtle little shifts in negative space create sort of these flows and these dynamic movements within the rhythms of the body. It's very very interesting how subtle certain shifts can be to create such an impact on a drawing. And I think, around the legs and the arms, these are areas that you really want to watch out for. And so I think, if we just increase this, you don't even need to make it 1-to-1. You can keep the same proportions, you know? But just sort of watching stuff like that, you'll get a little bit more appeal. I don't like the shape of my foot here. Honestly, the thing I like most about the pre-room music, I do like this intro music. Yeah, it's almost cute how everyone's pitching in, making their own version. I won't lie, it's not great. I think the artist I knew and looked for help for that exact reason. I should really stop using speech to text. Yeah, bro, because I don't know what the fuck you just wrote there. Let me read that again. One sec. I won't lie, it's not great. I think that's the artist knew that and looked. I think the artist knew that and looked for help for that exact reason. Ah, okay, yeah. No, I get it, right? I think like when I originally first saw it, this was before everybody started memeing on it. I saw it and I was actually gonna comment and give them feedback, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not a big Reddit poster. I don't like seeing my tweets or like posts on the internet in the future. And there's something weird where I feel like I switch my mental state after I make, like, let's say I make a really snarky tweet or like a little mean tweet. I don't really do that, but like hypothetically, let's say I did. I guarantee what's gonna happen is the next day I'm gonna look at it with a different emotional state, and I'm gonna be like, why the fuck would I write that, dude? That's so stupid. Okay, and I'm gonna end up hating it. And so because of that, I tend to not post a lot because I always sort of like second guess whether what I posted was dumb or not, which is kind of dumb in itself. But I don't know. That's why I use emojis. I actually do quite love the nail polish emoji, dude. That's like my favorite emoji. This one with like the nail polish. That's supposed to be like the little nail whatever. You get it. You get it. It's a hand. My beautiful hands. Snack, I am anxious. Be honest with me. If I appeared in front of your door, rang at it, and said it's me and know it's you, will you let me give you a hug and lean on you? Absolutely not. I know you're anxious, but no. That'd be terrifying. Don't do that. Guys, don't show up at my apartment, okay? I've already said too much by saying I have an apartment. Actually, I have the opposite reaction. Sometimes someone asks me for advice and I give really thorough and detailed critique, and then later when I read it, I'm like, holy shit, did I write that? You're like, damn, I was cooking. Yeah, no, I've done that too. I think for me, it's whenever I'm being critical. I'm always like, man, was that really necessary? I remember there was like a post where this one guy like clearly just like rotoscoped the thing and was just denying it everywhere when people were like, yeah, this is like very obviously rotoscoped. And he posted something like, this is my first animation ever, and it was like some crazy ass like rotoscope fucking thing of like dynamic gesture movement. And I'm like, bro, I've been animating like 6-7 years now. I can't do that. Like, there's no way a day one animator just fucking pulled that out of nowhere. And so I called him out, and then afterwards I was like, ah man, does it matter? Like, he's just kind of a random guy on the internet. Do I really need to like fucking like bash somebody? I don't know. I kind of have like an aversion against being overly critical towards people in chat forums. I think because you don't get the tone or emotionality. And I think if I'm critiquing somebody verbally, I feel a lot better about sort of the delivery. Whereas if I'm critiquing somebody through a text format, I feel like, I end up sort of coming off a little cold, which is not my intention. Have you heard of the art Reddit mod thing? I have heard about that briefly. I don't really know much about it. I think I read like the details earlier today, and then I completely forgot about them. But essentially, all the mods in the art forum kind of like left, right? I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like that subreddit, so that doesn't bother me too much. And it's not that I don't like it for any particular reason, or any particular individual or thing that happened or whatever. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the styles of work that's published in there. It's just not like that appealing to me. There's a lot of like different sites I feel like draw in different styles. Like ArtStation kind of has like an artistic look. You know, Twitter kind of has like an artistic look. It's a little bit more diverse. Tumblr certainly has its own style. And that subreddit, I'm not a bit. It's more like traditional, like it feels almost like boomer art a little bit, where it's all like grayscale pencil portrait drawings and stuff. It just doesn't interest me much. I think that's why I just don't really follow much in that sub. But I'd say it's okay. Just give me a second to get my knife. Frisky and Coco, that would be quite something, guys. If you guys end up getting married in your gay little relationship, would you invite me to your furry wedding? If there are any couples in chat and you invite me to your wedding and pay for all my travel, I'll go. Okay, I'm not going to like a million weddings on my own dime. Are you guys crazy? But I'll take a free trip. Okay, anyways, back to Yeti. So Yeti, I feel like when it comes to upward faces, the trick really is sort of this crease in the neck here. If you can get that angle positive here, or sort of like above 90 degrees, it's going to read a lot more like it's a top tilted head. Right? So if you want it to feel a little bit more top focused or top tilted, just increase the angle here and push the chin out this way a little bit. I find that helps for me anyways. There's other stuff also for doing that, but that's like a big one that helps sell it for me. I'm working while listening to this and was brought back by the gay furry marriage, resuscitated by the gay furries, dude. What can't gay furries do? I'm gonna get you a knife for the PB&J sandwich. Sending virtual hugs, mate. Adorbs, dude. Okay, sorry, Yeti. Yeti, okay, so this arm here, try and show like the pit coming up here a little bit. One thing I would like to see you do, Yeti, is try and get a little bit more confident with your shapes. I think right now, what I'm noticing is, or not your shapes, sorry, your lines is what I should say. Your proportions, Yeti, are actually not too bad. If you want to challenge yourself, Yeti, what I would say is try and be less scratchy with your lines. Try and do things in a single swoop, okay? Especially when doing gesture drawings, because what the reason you want to do that instead of building up all the lines, it's not that building up lines is bad, okay? Clearly I do it. Stylistically, I do it a lot, okay? All of my lines are very scratchy, okay? The reason you want to do things in singular confident lines is because when you use your lines more efficiently, you commit the patterns and the proportions a lot more easily. It's a lot easier for me to understand how to draw a leg if I do this, okay, on the leg, or this, versus if I do this. Which one of these is simpler for my brain to know is the right sort of like thing to do on the leg? 2 lines for top and bottom leg, or a million little lines? And this is just sort of when it comes down to subconscious learning. You're going to interpret and recognize patterns a lot easier when you're not adding too much diversity to the way you do a certain thing. So if I'm trying to draw a face, okay, and I draw the face, but this time I'm going to draw the face, I'm going to do, I don't know, maybe I'll start like this, and then I'll do this, and then, you know, maybe I should lighten it up, and then maybe I'll do that, and then maybe, you know, maybe now I do this, and then that, and then this, or whatever. Whereas if you can narrow things down to a formula, right, where I go, okay, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, okay, and now I've got an eyeball. Okay, if you can narrow things down to a formula, you're going to be able to repeat that pattern a lot more efficiently next time, right? And it's going to be a little bit difficult and uncomfortable at first to try and get that formula. But if you can get that formula down, you're going to be struggling a lot less to find your actual like anatomy later on, right? So that's what I think studying anatomy or gestures is really really good for. It's about breaking down and trying to simplify things into a few basic curves because it's a lot easier to internalize. Like this pose here, if I know I want to do a pose where a girl's like leaning forward, I know I basically just have to do a big C like this, put a head, and then I can draw things basically like that, right? And then you can go and do another layer, and then you can refine things and tie things down or whatever. But doing things like that, or in very simple curves and reducing down the complexity, is really going to sort of help you sort of wrap your head around how to use the anatomy in your own illustrations that aren't as dependent on reference, okay? So less scritchy scratchy. Less scritchy scratchy. Another thing I want to say, Yeti, try to use the reference not like what I'm noticing is it feels like you're drawing next to the reference because it helps you check your proportions right or better. I would rather you take the reference and you draw your character 3 or 4 times bigger or smaller than the reference if the reference is very large, and just try and capture the essence of the reference. And then if you want to take your character and compare it to the reference by sizing it down and see where your mistakes are and where you where your bad habits tend to be, I would rather you do that than try and use the reference to sort of track your proportions. The reason being is if I just draw based off of having the reference right next to me like this, I will learn, but I'm turning my brain off to a lot of valuable information like the proportions and the relationship between the features and the limbs on the body and the anatomy, right? So you want to make sure that your brain is fully on when you're doing studies like this, which is why I would take away sort of the training meals of basically having the reference be a one-to-one. If you're doing this reference, maybe you just do it like over here and you're just trying to simplify things. You know? And then you can go in and you can see, okay, how does my thing line up? Like if when I check my proportions, how do they line up? How off am I? How fucked is this whole thing? Oops. Right? And then you can go in and you can be like, okay, I have a tendency to I made her a little shorter here, or I have a tendency, I tilted the head a little bit too much, or I tilted the head the wrong way, or whatever, and then you'll start to notice your patterns a lot more regularly where you do things wrong. Because what happens is the brain tends to do the same mistakes over and over and over. Your brain wants to sort of default into doing something that's comfortable for it. And to break that habit and to improve, you kind of have to sort of force yourself to fight that a little bit. And that's just sort of like a way to do it. So use more of your brain when you're doing this by removing the one-to-one size proportion with the reference. I didn't have the reference next to the drawing that time, but I do normally do that though. Okay, good. Then keep doing that, Keep doing that. But yeah, less scritchy scratchy and more simplified lines. These two are kind of the same thing. Oh, not poses. Lines. I'll leave you with that for now, okay? Okay, next we got Jisha. Perfect, we got some line art. Excellent. Jisha, you still with us, brother? I'm gonna get some water, alright, guys? I'm gonna be right back. When's the next ad? It's in 15 minutes. Do I run it now? Nah. I'm gonna wait. I don't think it's gonna give us a full hour if I run it now. Thank you, Sack. No worries, Yeti. BRB. Jisha, you here? Last call, and then we'll move on to codes. My tea's room temp. Time to sacrifice it to the fridge. Iced tea for tomorrow. Why don't you just... Do you not have a microwave? I'm here, Coco. Not you. Not you, Coco. Microwave tea? Whatever, dude. I microwave coffee. Sometimes you just want to microwave some cold caffeinated products. Boom 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 boom. Yes, yes, draw shapes, not objects. Yeah, exactly, Kiss. By the way, Kiss, I just saw your art in the art share. Fantastic stuff, dude. It reminds me of you know what it reminds me of? There's a fucking level in Elden Ring where you gotta walk across this stupid ass fucking red like river of like rot that just fucks you up. It reminds me a lot about that. So it hurts my soul to see, but it's also very well done. So good job. I microwaved the candle. My microwave started sparking and broke. What's in the what? Why? Would you put the candle holder in with it? Okay, we're gonna move on to codes. If Jisha comes back, we'll do their critique. Y'all know my rules for the crits. Y'all gotta be around. Jisha, let me know when you're here, alright? We'll jump into your critique. Okay, Code. You got two things here. Which one do you want me to focus on? Code, you here, by the way? I think you're here. I think I saw you talking not too long ago. Yes, I am. All right. We like that. I'm pushing myself to paint environments lately because they're hard. Bro, I'm never going to be an environment artist. I don't have the patience of that. I don't have the patience. What do you think? Up to you. Damn, dealer's choice, huh? All right. Damn, shit. You spoil me. What do we want to do, guys? Do we want to... look, I'm going to be real with you, Doug. I don't know fuck all about storyboards. I kind of know a little bit about it because when I worked in animation, we were given storyboards, but I've never produced storyboards myself. So outside of just seeing like what kind of storyboards I got in studio, um, I don't really sort of have any storyboarding theory to offer. So I'm gonna go with your character because character design is for sure my thing. Dude, this fucking cough will not go away. It's driving me crazy. All right, we're gonna do your character. Guys, I love not having a face cam, dude. I can pick my nose and you guys don't even know what's happening. Unless I tell you, obviously, but I certainly wasn't picking my nose and you shouldn't think I was. All right. What were we? We're going to pull up this character here real quick. I'm going to move Yeti's character into this slot up here. Come on. I believe in you. There you go. Uh-huh. Nick Stradamus, how you doing, big dog? Damn, we got so many green chatters today. Can we get some nose-picking ASMR? How would that sound like? My nose is moist, dude. I'm a little wet. I got a wet nostril, dude. What is it? You like that? Oh, sorry. Dave, you told me to do it. I thought you wanted me to do it. That wasn't my nostril, by the way, guys. That was me pushing my tongue against my bottom lip. I just figured it would sound grosser, okay? I wasn't picking my nose into the microphone. I took my headphones off. Too much ecstasy, huh? Can't take it. I get it. Don't worry. You're not the first. Is he done? Chat, say no. I'm not done. I'm still going. I've been doing it for 2 minutes straight. The worst part about her taking her headphones off, guys, is she probably thinks I was actually just like fiddling around in my nose. Kiss, that wasn't my nose. That was my beautiful lower lip, okay? Being pressed against my tongue. I wasn't sloshing around in there. Don't worry. The nose picking is premium content, okay? You guys only get that via DM. You don't get that for free on Twitch. Big beautiful lip, my BBL. Yeah, exactly. All right. Anyways, can we do the fucking actual mature thing about this channel and review some character art? Let's see. Dude, I feel like my cough is getting worse. It was like kind of going away last week. Dude, they updated CSP. This is pissing me off. Why does it keep resizing? Anyways, I'm not gonna crash out. I'm mentally healthy. I'm emotionally stable. Ignore everything I've said. Oh my god, a girl at my high school used to pick her nose in public in front of other people, then eat it and gaslight others that she didn't do it after she did it in front of them. It's kind of base, dude. I don't know. I respect somebody who commits to it, you know? That's kind of sick. I don't know. That's a very fun bit. I like the idea of just like doing something and then just like being, no, I didn't. You know what I mean? I don't know. I respect it, okay? I have a lot of respect for that person. Okay. Speaking of respect, time to disrespect some artwork. You ready, Code? Let me find a spot here where I can actually fucking lower the opacity without one of my stupid little drawings being behind it. I'm ready, Pookie. Okay. All right. He's prime, dude. He's all warmed up. Pinoy. Hanoi. First of all, I'm loving the Asian girl purple hair trope. Okay, excellent choice. All right, the inner like adolescent who watched 16 in me really appreciates that. I loved that Asian chick when I was a teenager, or like a young tween, I should say. Trope? It is a trope, 100%, dude. The amount of Asians with purple hair that exists in media is astronomically high. Purple hair bobs, to be specific. I don't know why that's a thing. It's so specific. I think it started in like the 90s. I can't remember who was the OG, but there's definitely like something that just sort of set it off, you know? He made it up, bro. Okay, what do we want to improve here? What do we want to improve? We got banged hair with hair hoop. Okay. Massive hoodie. You know what that reminds me of? You ever watch Codename Kid Next Doors? I bet you they literally have Codename Kid Next Doors. Not doors, plural, but Codename Kid Next Door. I feel like that this aesthetic kind of like reminds me of that a little bit. Not literally like a one-to-one. But the oversized hoodie. We're getting hella nostalgic right now. This guy also just kind of looks like Eric Cartman now that I look at him. It's just fucking Cartman from South Park. Ed Nettie. Yeah, Ed and Nettie. I never watched Ed and Nettie, guys. Also can barely even pronounce it, but okay. What to improve? What to improve? This pose here, she feels like she's gonna fall over. I would bring this leg forward a little bit more. And she'll feel a little bit less like she's gonna topple over. I do really like this gesture going through here, though. I do really like that gesture. I would still bring that leg forward, though, a little bit. Just because her like, if you are you familiar with what a plumb line is, Codeface? A plumb line is typically a line that you draw from sort of the center of the collarbone straight down. And it indicates sort of the... Okay, you get it? Okay, I'm going to give a little tutorial on plumb lines just so the people in chat who might not know get an understanding of it. So if you go right between the collarbones and you draw like a line straight down from between the collarbones or the sternum, that's typically called a plumb line. And what it does is it just sort of shows you where your center of gravity is. And if you have too much of a character on one side, and it's fairly subjective, right? Like a character could be in movement if you're able to pull that off, then like a lot of this stuff kind of just doesn't work as well. But generally speaking, if you're doing a neutral or a grounded pose, you want to make sure that there's a good split between your center of gravity, or that the weight can be supported by some sort of like positional adjustment. And in this case, if her collarbones are probably around in here because her rib cage is like here-ish. So if you draw a line straight through, she's probably still a little bit more forward, but it's not too bad. So we do have her weight going into her foot here, which is not the worst. But when her foot was back here, all of her weight was forward facing, and her foot was like really far back, so she would have likely toppled this way, right? For us uneducated, exactly. For the plebeians in chat, okay? Don't worry. You'll be aristocrats in no time. But essentially, the plumb line just sort of helps you look at your character and estimate whether like it's balanced or not. It's not a perfect science, but it's a good indicator of whether your shit's gonna look fucked up or not or whatever. Okay? This one is fine, I think. A lot of the weight goes into her heel. I will say maybe her head could be tilted a little bit more this way to make it feel a little bit more balanced. Squishy Tiramisu, VTuber, how you doing, big dog? Like, see how bringing the head over here, to me, just having the head shifted over a little bit just feels a little bit more balanced. It's a little bit more aligned. The one caveat here. Oh, did we get rated again? What the hell? Am I tripping? Oh shit. Noobalot, thank you for the raid. How did I not notice that we're getting rated? Thank you for the raid, big dog. Cryptid B, no, you're a noob. No, you're a noob. No, you're a noob. You know you're a noob. How you guys doing today? Damn, we're just getting every raid. What's going on? Thank you for the raid, dude. Let's get a little shout out for Noobalot. Oh, Noobalot. Oh shit, I remember you from fucking. Sorry, I don't know if your chat swears or not, but I remember you from Ori's chat. How you doing, dog? How you doing? I was actually gonna try and catch you. I was gonna try and catch you live next time I saw you, but I missed the opportunity. But thank you for the raid, dude. What are you up to today? Tell us. You were doing our last category, just chatting. Oh yeah, you do. You like you game, right? Snack's getting his raid harem right now. Coco, don't be weird, dude. I can time him out for you, Noobalot. I don't need to be nice to Coco. We can time him out if you want. I don't mind punishing my chat for the sake of the bit. We are degens, yes? Excellent, dude. Well, look, let me talk a little bit about myself, and then, you know, Noobalot, if you got any links or anything you want to share, you're more than welcome to share some links. Share some freaking places where people can follow you. Fuck. What were you doing today? We were setting up a cursed cookie challenge today. I like your voice, Car Snack. Thanks, dude. That's the nicest name anybody's ever given me, dude. Most people just call me like Cat Sack, which is not very nice. It hurts my feelings, really. But, you know, chat doesn't care. They don't care about me. Not like you guys. You guys care about me. Chat, they're like, to me, what they're like is like they're the grass is always greener people. All right, you guys bully me, and they give me nice names. I care about you, Cat Sack. Thank you, Clem. Thank you, Clem. I won't make a joke with your name. We don't know each other like that, but there's an easy one there that I won't do it. I won't do it. I'm above it. All right, I'm above it. We're setting up a cursed cookie challenge. Okay, so what does a cursed cookie challenge look like, dude? Fuck. We're getting so many follows. I gotta run through these real quick. Pansexual Water. Fantastic name, dude. I really, really dig that name. Thank you for the follow. The main squish, thank you for the follow. I save, thank you for the follow. Lady Spookums, thank you for the follow. Cryptid B, thank you for the follow. Squishy Tiramisu, we already gave you the thank you, but thank you again. Base cookie dough plus 3 random ingredients chosen via wheel spin. Oh shit. You can't blue ball us on the joke. I was gonna call you chlamydia, but it felt like too mean to like a new acquaintance, you know?
Fuck.
Some good, some really bad. Okay, what were the bad ones? And how does this work? Do you have to basically just like consume them on like a random chance thing? Are you even consuming them, or are you just like doing some weird mad scientist experiments? That's actually really great. Yeah, no worries, dude. Hey, baby, I'll insult you guys any day of the week. All right, I'm your boy. Oh, it's the whole community making them. Okay, so you guys are creating a shit ton of like cookies, and what, you're sharing them in like a Discord or something. 7 ads is crazy. I'm evil, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I love money. I hate chatters, and so just maximizing ads just made the most sense. You know, it just caused the most suffering. No, I'm just kidding. The reality is, Twitch, the way it's set up, Letner boy, I mean, a lot of people probably know this, but Twitch, the way it's set up is you have to either run 3 minutes of ads per hour, or you have pre-rolls running automatically. And I don't like pre-rolls, so we do the 3 minutes of ads, and then we get chewed out every time somebody consumes them back to back. Leonard boy, subscribe for 1 month. Thank you for the sub, dude. I appreciate you, big dog. Okay, look, I gotta yap a little bit about me, and then I'm gonna catch up on the cookie stuff. Okay, so we got curry mix, pudding, pizza rolls, and cream cheese. Chat, I think Nubalot's chat might be more unhinged than mine, dude. The worst thing I do is ASMR. Okay, that's the most foul shit I do on my chat. I don't make them eat like toothpaste cookies or anything like that. That's not an idea for your next game show, by the way. That's just, it was just like a hyperbolic example. Don't eat toothpaste cookies, guys. He just did a nose pick ASMR. I did not do a nose pick ASMR, all right? I did a simulated nose pick ASMR where I made people think I was picking my nose, but I wasn't. I wouldn't do that. I'm not gross. I was just gonna order some homeopathic kitten chlamydia from the British government. Honestly, that doesn't sound like something Britain would sell. I'm no European expert by any means, being a Canadian and whatnot, but my guess is that's some dark web shit. I just subbed to get rid of the ads, and I still need to watch them. Oh fuck, dude. Twitch is kind of evil. Even if you refresh, really. I should have added toothpaste. I think you can actually kill people by doing that, dude. I don't think your body is meant to digest toothpaste. Anyways, I'm gonna talk a little bit about me. My name's Snack. I draw stuff like this. Okay, I draw stuff like this. Ladies like this, guys like this, ladies like this, partial drawn ladies like this. I animate sometimes. Where the hell's my animation timeline? Timeline, where are you? Sometimes I animate stuff like this. And yeah, that's kind of it right now. And we also do chatter critiques, which is what you guys joined us in the middle of. We were doing critiques for one of our chatters here. Codes. Where are you, Codes? I gotta scroll up to read your full name. I only know you as Code through the Discord. Code's face. That's the other one. I knew his face. I just didn't want to say it unless I was sure. I'm here, Coco. I swear to God, dude. Oh, how do we get a crit? Okay, Kiss, if you go in... Well, you're in the Discord. I've seen you posting in the Discord. So, if you're in the Discord, and this is a good time to say, guys, we are an 18-plus channel. Don't join the Discord if you are not over the age of 18. Don't actually hang out here if you're not over the age of 18. But if you are, you're more than welcome to join the Discord. If you posted the critiques channel, I will go over your work every now and then. I do typically cap it just so that I'm not spending the entire stream doing critiques because sometimes I want to draw, for myself. But Kiss, because you're new, I'm gonna break that cap and I'm gonna say if you drop a critique, if you drop a thing in there, I will give you some feedback on it. All right. We're also 18 plus. Hell yeah, dude. We dig it. We love adults. I love adults. Aw, really? Yeah, I'm just a little. I'm feeling like a little sweetie pie today. All right. Don't expect this treatment regularly though, chat. Okay. It's just because we've been getting a lot of raids. I don't want to look like I'm the abusive streamer that I am to all of the new viewers. They have to sort of, like me first before we can Stockholm Syndrome them. Before then, I'm transitioning to 18 plus in my channel slowly as I grow comfy. I will say I would just rip that band-aid off, dude. For when I started off streaming for the beginning of, I don't know, I started streaming in like May of last year. And when I first started streaming, I was just sort of like an open age. Like I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm kind of a normie. I know I LARP as a furry on the internet, but I wear the uniform, but I've never served. All right, it's all stolen valor. I'm not an actual furry. I'm quite a normie. I grew up playing sports, and I wasn't really like online much until like my early 20s because I didn't really have a PC until my late teens. And as a consequence of that, I just sort of didn't really know what the etiquette was. And I started getting a lot of really young people, and I feel like I'm kind of crass, right? And it got to the point where I was like, this feels weird. I don't like this. And so luckily we were a small enough channel that I just kind of ripped the band-aid off. We had like a mass purge where I just got my mods to go full Gestapo on like my entire Discord, and we purged everybody, and we got rid of all the minors, presumably the ones we know of, anyways. And that's it. That's it, really. And we've been 18 plus ever since, and it's the best decision I've ever made. Squishy tiramisu. I feel like a lot more freedom in terms of expressing myself, and I think if you're somebody who likes sort of, it doesn't even have to be like we don't do like sexual content or anything like that in the sense that I don't draw like not safe for work stuff or anything. But I do like the sort of freedom of having mature discussions and we joke around, but we can also have some serious like real talks and stuff like that. And I like that balance. And I think, if there's a bunch of fucking 13-year-olds in my chat, they're gonna say some dumb shit that's just gonna like I remember when I first started streaming and I didn't have that age gate, I would play like a song, like a rap song, and then a fucking like a rapper, okay, presumably who's black, would say the N-word in the song, and then people would be like in chat, like being like, "This is so racist," and it's like, "Oh my god, dude, I can't fucking deal with kids, dude. I gotta get rid of this shit." Okay, now I gotta catch up on some messages because I've been yapping way too much. What do we got? We're used to the abuse. Good, dude. Good. Ew, a jock? I know. Thank God there's no strap at the end of that noun, but it's okay. Summer, almost fall time when I started really streaming. Okay, cool, dude. Cool. Hell yeah. What do you like to stream, tiramisu? Oh, shit. I think my phone says my phone thinks I'm talking to it. Stop. Stop transcribing everything I'm saying. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to pause the music. I can't say the word, but I have a G word Pixel phone, and every time I say a word that sounds like the G word, my phone becomes a little needy bitch and thinks I'm talking to it. I'm not. Okay, stop recording me. I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with you tonight. I'm gonna vibe here for a little bit, and then I might be gone forever, just being honest. Hey, dude, I take one night stands. It's all good, dude. You can use me and abuse me, and then you don't have to call me in the morning. I won't take it personal. KK, I'm back. Hell yeah, dude. Mass order 66, full on cleansing. That's pretty funny. Noob, can we have a mass purge? I've also been 18 plus since I started just because, well, I mean, look at me. I'm gonna look at you, actually. I remember looking at you briefly. Are you a little dollop of cum, dude? Is that your thing? You should have named yourself Splooge a lot. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm in critique mode, dude. I don't mean to critique, all right. Okay. I was always afraid I'd be a draw to children and fuck all that. Yeah, the one thing with art's tough because the thing is there's a lot of beginner artists who are genuinely like kids. And when you do tutorial content, you tend to appeal to a lot of like younger audiences. The reality is, it's the internet. You can only control as much as you can. I'm not gonna sort of like if I got some sleeper miners in here. I'm not doing some FBI, NSA like identification shit. So if you're lying to me, I really have no way of knowing you are. But if we can catch them, they're gone, dude. We're fucking nuking them into orbit. What if I'm a child at heart? That's fine, dude. You could have a 50 IQ, and I think that's totally fine. It doesn't matter to me. You could have a small heart, a small medical heart condition, whatever. It's fine, dude. What if I'm childish? Totally cool, pansexual water. All right, no worries. Don't ban Clem. Don't worry, Clem. Wait. Why would I ban you, Clem? Why would I ban you, huh, Clem? What's going on there, Clem? You got something to hide? You can talk to me, Clem. I'm not gonna do anything. What if I'm a dog? Do we use dog ears? Woof. Coco, I will ban you. Clem is sus. I know. I'm side eyeing a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. What if I'm at your door right now? Please don't kill me. You'd be my first stalker. I will say. It's a little exciting, but also a little scary. I don't know if I'm ready for that step in our relationship, Frisky. I just want a hug. I know you've said that. You've told me that. You tell me that every stream, dude. You tell me you want a hug. You tell me you want to take me out on dates. I told you, dude. I'm straight. I'm not gonna fuck you. Turns out Clem is 17 and 9/10. Is that real? I will genuinely ban them if that's real. No mercy, dude. He's evil. That's right. Did you not miss my speech about being evil earlier? I wish I never expected to feel old at 23. All right, good save, dude. Good save. I'll choose to believe you. Sometimes you gotta fuck the homies. I got. I'm trying to think of something clever to say to that, but I mean you're kind of right. Yo, what tablet do you guys use? I use the Cintiq 16. Wacom 16. Fuck, I can't talk, dude. Wacom Cintiq 16. That was hard to say. I'm 30. My knees and legs think we're 60. Hey, that's cool, dude. I mean, how old do you guys think I am? All right, and if you know my age, guys, don't say it. All right, don't say it. I want the new ones to guess. I'll tell you guys. Qualcomm 16. You're 24, 69, 67. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Good range there. You sound 29 to 31. Okay. A little rude, but okay. 1,036 years old. Okay. All right, you're kind of off, but whatever. We're getting there. I don't have any bags. Right. 28, 26, 28, 6 to 7. Okay, this guy's a minor, dude. We're banning 6, 7 jokes in my chat, dude. We're banning them. All right. What's wrong with sounding 29 to 31? Well, the reality, guys, the reason that it's wrong is because it's very accurate because I'm 31. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You hit me on the you got me right in the reality, so 26 easy. Nah. I wish I was still 26. I'm in my 30s, dude. Shit gets real. I've got actual accountabilities and responsibilities now. I can't be fucking around. I can't reset, Also, Nubalon, I don't think I did like the whole spiel, but if you got shit to do or you gotta take off or you want to go poop or eat or do whatever you gotta do, whatever you do whenever you're not live, that's between you and God, but you're more than welcome to go do it. Or you can hang out here. I'm fine with that too. But I gotta do the streamer raid, take care of yourself spiel. Unk is crashing out over a 6-7 joke. I'll be mature and stick with 69. Noob was talking about pee at the end of stream. Oh, we got an emoji for that actually. We got the pee emoji. Noob's rating is toilet. Yeah, he's gonna go drop some bits. I'd ban Unk mentions too, not gonna lie. I'm fine with Unk mentions. I don't care if people think I'm Unk status. Okay, we were actually okay, guys, we were unironically doing a critique. This is we are not getting through these critiques today. I can already feel it. This is one of those streams where I get nothing done. I also have one, but Twitch won't allow me to have it. Oh, weird, dude. That's weird. I managed to get the poo one and the pee one, so I don't know how I snuck that in. Please don't mention the mothers. Snack loves to remind us how he isn't our dad, but he is the dad that stepped up. Stepped up to specifically to bone our moms. Specifically your mom, Jadu. And mostly your mom. Mostly. I'm trying to be hip. I'm 29. It's over, dude. You're cooked. It's 30's around the corner. Well, it's literally a guy peeing, so guys, if you guys keep talking about peeing, I'm literally gonna go pee. You're doing like the whole waterfall thing right now in my chat. Noob lost so many emotes. Which other emotes did you try to sneak by like Twitch moderation? Letters are different than you actually pissing, I guess. Yeah, I would imagine an actual like image of me pissing probably would not do well, but I think so long as you don't have if I don't have my little fucking mouse nuts out, I don't see the issue. It's just a little bit of pee, you know? 29's literally over. I'm with you. I will say, by the time you're 27, you're basically you just feel 30. You know, I think by the time I was 27, I just felt 30 every day. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Pee them off. I'm more of a grandma dude myself. The right you wrote the Ripper, but I know you meant the Riper. The riper, the better. Maybe that is how you spell ripe. I don't really know, but it doesn't feel like it would be spelled that way. The wrinklier, the spicier, the pepper. Grandma dude is crazy. Coco's just trying to show off right now. He's just being a little attention whore. Sax on the drawing board. I'm trying, dude. I gave you a little bit of feedback. Okay, your pose is slightly off balance. I'm gonna basically jump between giving you feedback and talking shit to chat because I'm really vibing with Nubalot's chat. I love them. They're awesome. Twitch hates Ash, but manages to act like it's all the same. Here's the thing, right? I feel like it's kind of fucked up that like half of the art community can draw like naked chicks that basically have like a piece of string between their pussies and tits. Okay? But if one guy wants to have a piss emoji and Twitch goes full prude mode, come on, dude. That's fucked up. I don't know, dude. Look, I don't care, okay? When it comes to flavor of art, I'm a little libertarian. But I think like, you know, I think when it comes to sort of like moderation, Twitch doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. Do you allow links from you? Yeah, sure, dude. You don't need to ask for permission. You could just drop it in there. I will say that's not an encouragement for everybody to do it, but I trust that Nubalot is not a lunatic that is going to send me like a direct porn link or like some sort of like virus. Oh, is that your emote? Let's take a little look. Okay, that's really good. I really like that. That's a fantastic emote, dude. I need piss emotes, dude. I need like genuine piss emotes. I just don't think I'd be able to pull it off. What if you did it like made it like purple? You did like alien piss or something, you know? You know how like in anime they make the blood purple just so they can air on TV and it doesn't need to get like a certain rating? Yep, snack, it's riper, not ripper. My mistake, you win. Always do. Always do. Can a guy piss these days? Alright, yeah, you guys are talking about piss way too much, dude. Look, my dick's inflated like a big water balloon right now. I'm gonna go fucking drain it, alright? I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Maybe not that long, okay? I'm a quick pisser. All right, I'm back. I pissed as hard and as fast as I could, guys. I missed you guys so much I didn't even wash my hands. No, I'm just kidding. I did. Don't worry. I thought about it though. Okay, what do we got? He doesn't just piss in his gamer chair like a noob. My bucket's not big enough. My bladder's too big, dude. All right, I've tried, but you know, my dick's too big. I can never get it in the tube, and then my bucket's too small, so it always overfills. Ew, wash your hands. I'm joking. My hands are clean, dude. Here, you want to smell them? I wish you guys had smell-o-vision, okay? I smell like lavender right now. Don't worry. Welcome back, piss boy. Thank you, Achilles. Can I smell you? The thing is, Frisky, I think you're serious. That's the problem. You know? Normally, a question like that from a chatter, I'd say, yeah, sure, whatever. If you can find me, you could do it. But I'm worried you will. And that's the concern. I saw him wipe his hands on his trousers. All good here. Joke's on you, dude. I'm sitting in my underwear right now. There are no trousers. I'm sitting shirtless in my underwear, okay, wrapped in a blanket. The second I got home from work, I took all my clothes off and went live. You're not soaking your gamer chair? You should be. My gamer chair is fucked, dude. It's like pleather. It's like the fake leather, so it's just like all... It looks like it's like rotten, because all of the like layer, like the leather like layer, like the fake leather layer is like peeled off. It's terrible. It looks like fucking Chernobyl happened under my ass. I knew that was the real reason you were a PNG tuber. The real reason, guys, it's because I'm hideous. I'm a freak mutant, okay? My nose is like fucking like 3 inches to the side of my head from the center line, okay? My ears are lopsided. I have to like stretch my glasses down really in extreme shapes. Like one of the arms of the glasses goes down like this, and then the other one is like up like here because of how fucked my anatomy is. Okay? Bro, can we stop talking about your uncovered ass? What are you, salivating, dude? Oh, but the mouse is kind of accurate ear-wise. That's true. That's true. It is accurate ear-wise. I'm just as hairy. I have, you know that disease that makes you look like fucking Chewbacca because your hair just grows all over your face? I have that too. I'm just a freak, dude. And so I don't want to show my face because I don't want you guys to laugh at me. Bro, don't lie to me. I recognize an attractive voice when I hear one. You're good looking for sure. Guys, I'm hideous. I'm disfigured. I have a step stool to get up on my chair because I'm so short. Listen, no matter how ugly someone might be, there's probably at least one person gooning over you. There's like fucking a million people gooning in this chat. Right now. I guarantee half a chat is stroking it live. I thought you said you weren't a furry. Well, you know, I sometimes whatever, ban this guy, dude. He's caught me in too many traps. I don't want to think of comebacks anymore. Just ban him. Ban him. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Achilles. I'm kidding. Don't worry. Do a jiggle? Oh, dude, you're making me look so bad right now. Guys, just know this wasn't my idea, all right? I didn't design this, okay? I didn't make this PNG tuber. I'm the victim, okay? Chat wanted this. And I'm a benevolent god, so I gave it to them. Achilles dreams of being banned. I can ban you temporarily if you want taste. If you want to know what limbo's like. No one has the balls. Mods, open season on Achilles. Do what you gotta do. I don't even know if my mods are here. It's embarrassing to like sick my mods on someone and then nothing happens. It's like my worst fear actually as a streamer. I'm here. I know you're here, Coco. God damn it. All right, guys. Let's make stream boring again, and let's actually do some feedback for one of our chatters. Crazed or Codes? Sorry, I don't know why I called you Crazed. You still here? So we gave you an adjustment on your leg here so they could be a little bit more balanced based off of the plumb line. I told you if you tilt the head in like this, you're going to get a little bit more balance on this pose as well. What else can we say here? Yeah, we're way too much of a distraction. Boba removed the ban on Achilles. There you go. There, see, I got mods. I got my dogs, my hounds. I can sick them on you, dude. None of you guys are safe. All right, don't ever get too comfy. My phone's dying. I gotta go. All right, Squishy Tiramisu. I appreciate you. All right, have a good one. Thanks for coming out, and I'll catch you whenever I catch you. Incognito mods are the best. That's right. The stealth assassins. Puppies? Huh? What you talking about, Kiss? I call bullshit that was a mod. That was probably Snag doing it. All right, I gotta pull out the receipts then. Check this out. Check this out. Read 'em and wheat, boys. Read 'em and wheat. Where the fuck did this thing go? My canvas is massive, but would you look at that? Would you look at that? I'm going too, mate. I gotta wake up in less than 5 hours, bro. Your poor brain. Get out of here, dude. Did someone mention a nuclear accident? Did you know someone once contaminated 50,000 rolls of toilet paper via an orphan source? What? An orphan source? What's an orphan source? Whoa, wait, did it look like that before? Did what look like what before? I don't know what you're talking about. This could be a pre-save screenshot? Yeah, exactly. For when I'm trying to LARP as having mods. Kiss, I'm not even joking. I genuinely don't know what you're referencing right now. It's 2 a.m. and I'm sleepy. I can't tell. I think that's a concerning sign, dude. Maybe you need to get some snooze in, dude. Alright, I'm off to exercise and eat. I'll be lurking, dig the vibes. Alright, peace out, Nubalot. I'll check you out next time you're on, alright? Oh, by the way, Nubalot, before you go, do you have a schedule? Or do you have like a time you know when you'll be live next? Just so the chat knows. Because I think your chat and mine have a lot of similarity in terms of how insane they are, so I'm sure some of them would like to check you out. I stream 5 days a week at 2 p.m. ETS? EST, okay. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna be at work most of those times. Well, okay. Chat, go check out Nubalot next time you can. Okay? Do you stream on the weekends, Nubalot? Alright, be right back. I need to do a criminal background check real quick. Alright. Alright, go do that, mystery man. Yup, all weekend? Alright, then I'll try and catch you tomorrow. Or maybe on Sunday if I can. Go check out Nubalot, guys. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate you, big dog, and I'll catch you when I catch you, alright? All this time, Achilles, I thought I knew you. Nubalot streams are really good. I can only recommend. I believe you, dude. I believe you. Okay. Okay, getting back into the revision now. We're going to do boring art stuff, guys. Well, maybe. We'll jump back and forth, but the way you pronounce tomorrow is funny, Canadian man. What's tomorrow? I just say tomorrow. There's nothing weird about how I say it. Ah, finally, sadly, art. Yeah, I know. I've been telling you I stream, just not under the right account. This is who I really am. You know I love your streams. There's a lot of emphasis on the T there. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. What do you guys say? Tomorrow? It's like losing its meaning now. Okay, looking at this angry face here, I think of all the faces you've got here, Codes. I don't know if you're still here, Codes. I feel like I've been neglecting you a little long here, but if you're still around, Codes, the one thing I'm noticing particularly that could use some serious improvement is sort of your angry faces here. The angularity and the overlap is a little weak, and when I draw them, I typically what I do is I sort of have the eye originate from the back here. I don't have them like I don't have like this space that you have or like the negative space that you would have between your eye here and the brow. I think it just sort of implies that she has like a big brow like bone, which is not quite accurate. She doesn't have a big brow bone. She just has like a furrowed brow, you know, or whatever the term is. Examples of orphan sources are like medical radiological equipment or a self-contained radioactive source that isn't under regulatory control. So it's basically like the fucking protein powder of like hazardous materials. Just no regulation. Codes, I'm just gonna finish this revision real quick. I don't know if you're here or not, but I'm sure you'll catch it on the freaking the VOD. So I would just say push your brows down and have the eyes originate from behind the brows. And you'll create a much more appealing, realistic, angry face. Maybe not realistic, not the right word, but you'll get a more appealing, angry face. Because when you leave a space here on an angry face, you end up implying that basically she just has like elephantitis with like really big, thick bones. Big browed. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, I do really like sort of the way you design the heads, you know? Um, it's gonna be the same sort of thing. Now you have them touching here. I just think the sort of the angle could be a little pushed. I don't like the shape of that. There you go. I'm getting all quiet now as I try and focus here. One sec. One thing I think your head is a little wide for the character. I get that she has a very wide and deep skull here, but I think you would benefit from having it just be a little bit more narrow on the front view. Sad brows also push a little bit more and have sort of the eyes flow a little bit more with the sad eyes. Like these curvatures should almost sort of have like rhythmic movements going through them here. You know, like picture like a wave or like a sound wave going through. And if you follow that through, it should sort of all line up and you'll get like a much more organic feel. Where's my wide heads at? You would have a wide head, Achilles. Why are you naming yourself after a failure? You know, the Achilles heel. What's up with that, huh? I'm sorry. I'm being mean now because I just got owned by you earlier and I have nothing to say. Ignore that meanness, okay? I'm just being a catty bitch. All right, Codes, I'm going to leave you with this for your feedback, and I think that's going to be a good place for you to work from. Jisha, I don't know if you're here or if you're still gone. We're going to do Queen unless Jisha's around because Jisha's higher up on the queue, but they weren't here earlier, so... Okay, we're gonna move on to Queen. Enjoy the art critiques, lads. I gotta go have a good one. Thank you for coming out, Mythically Malaki. I believe you. That thank you for coming out. I'm so tired, dude. I did not sleep last night. I can't be witty at all, dude. I appreciate you is what I was trying to say. Not I believe you. I do believe you though. But more I appreciate you. Have a good night. Okay, that's that layer. That's that layer. Let's shove these guys into a folder. I'm nervous. Don't worry, dude. I'm not gonna hurt you. How big is this? Okay, this is very big. Okay. Let me reduce the size here a little bit. I think, okay, one thing when it comes to rendering, Queen, the most important thing with rendering, your color choices are fine. I think the shapes and the idea works really well. What I would like to see is a little bit more intentionality with your shadow shapes, okay? And I'll sort of explain what I mean by that. So let me do a new layer here. But essentially, when I think of shadow shapes, and I guess I should show you a little bit of my render work. I don't render very often. I have done some rendering before. This is like an example of something I've rendered before. So what you want to do with like shadow shapes is you kind of want to define the shapes very clearly, okay? And so right now, what I want to point out to you is that there's a little bit of a lack of commitment to sort of the shadow shapes here. I would rather see something like hard lines like this that describes the form and just have this whole thing be shaded in, right? Something like this, rather than sort of have like the painterly texturey thing that just doesn't really have any defined form. When I think of shadows, the way I think about it is basically like the way a graphic artist thinks of appealing shapes. You kind of you can get a little abstract with your shadows, but you still want them to inform the shape of the structure underneath, okay? And so if it's like wrinkles or something, maybe you can do, you don't have to do this particular shape, but you can maybe carve into it a little bit. I'm just gonna bring the opacity up so I can color pick properly here. You know what? I'm just gonna paint over your thing directly here. So like, you could probably like, carve into it. Like, let's say you have a wrinkle coming in like this, because the arm is coming up, right? So all the tension is gonna be going in this direction. Okay, so you're gonna get all these sort of like little random abstract wrinkles coming up here. This is gonna be pinching in this corner here, and it's gonna be coming down, because that's where the tension is. Okay, so having more defined shadows that are a little bit clearer is something that's really going to help with this. Thinking a little bit more about the forms underneath is also going to be very helpful. Looks great, yeah. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good drawing. It's well planned out. I just think there are things that could be improved, right? And that's the goal here. So don't worry, you're a good artist, but I think there's just some stuff structurally that if you think about it when you're working on these shapes and these renderings, it'll help things a lot. So when I'm talking about like structure, I'm thinking about the wrinkles here, and I want the wrinkles to really describe the sort of cylinder of the forearm underneath here, because the arm is underneath here and it is a cylinder, right? So the arm underneath here is probably going like this, and then he's got like his shoulder's actually elevated, so his shoulder's going to be up like this. And then the forearm is just basically a cylinder coming into here. And because of this forearm here, you want these wrinkles to sort of wrap that shape from their points of tension. So if you did something like this, and you kind of have that. You kind of have that. I just think it's not sort of intentional enough. Like, really think about the form of the arm underneath here, And just sort of like actually have these wrinkles really wrap this form. And if you've got tension points here, I actually think there'd be a lot more stretching of the fabric going into here. So basically, cleaner shapes across the board. So not a huge difference there, but and more intentionality with where you place the wrinkles and the actual shape design of the shadows that you're putting down, okay? And I think that'll help you quite a bit. Because the thing is, like, you've got the idea here. Like, I can tell that you know sort of how, like, these folds are supposed to go. But I just don't see, like, a clear, defined form, right? Like, this sort of... There's a lot of dark value in here. And then it gets pretty light in value around here, and then we're dark again. And I kind of get that sort of, that's sort of what you're implying is that this sort of wrinkle is catching the light here and going over top. But it's just not clear enough with these sort of soft gradients that you have. And there's nothing wrong with doing a soft gradient on a shadow. Like, look, if I take this and I blend it out, it'll still feel like appealing and like a wrinkle, right? But you've got, like, here you've got this harsh shadow stop, which implies, like, a really hard, like, cubic edge. But it's cloth. It's cloth, right? So, you could blend it out. What I would normally do is I would just treat it like a cylinder first. So really just add, like, your shading where you want it to be. And then go over top and start cutting into that with sort of the wrinkles. And then you can go over that again and darken sort of areas where there's, like, a lot of tension points and stuff. That's how I would approach it personally. And I would also add, I would probably push the values a little bit more aggressively. Now, I haven't done, like, a value check. And I'll show you how to check your values in 2 seconds here. I'll show you how to check your values. So if you add a new layer over top, and then you switch that layer to a hue layer, okay, so I'm selecting hue here. You probably can't see, but just if you click this button where it says normal, you'll get a bunch of layer options. Switch it to hue, and then what you're going to do is you're going to paint bucket tool your entire canvas white, and what that's going to do is it's going to change everything to grayscale. And then you're going to start to see where sort of your readability issues come from. And what I mean by that is, look, I'll show you what happens if I sort of just darken everything here, okay? So if I go in on this, and I'm going to basically just take a very dark value, and I'm going to just sort of add dark ambience all around the focal areas. So I'm directing now the eye using these values to where I want people to look, okay? Now, if I want this guy to be the focal point and this character to be the focal point, I'm going to make them lighter. And if I want the like something else, like maybe they have big boobs or, big muscles or whatever, or big sword or whatever, you can make like that the highest point of contrast so that it catches the eye more. Essentially, what I'm talking about is you want to apply contrast. If all of your values are very even, the eye and the brain don't really know where to look. If you narrow in those values so that the areas that you want to look are very contrasting to the areas that, like, you don't want to draw attention to, people will look in that high contrast area, right? And I'll give you some examples of that. So this is an example I pull up a lot on stream, but it's because it illustrates my point a lot. So there's a drawing by Dave Raposa with where he drew Venom, okay? And the reason this reads so well, okay? The reason this drawing reads so well, it's incredibly blurry right now because I just screen grabbed it off of Google. But the reason it reads so well is because he's got this hard contrast between the figure and where he wants you to look and the background. So this red and blue is very contrasting. They're literally like at opposite ends of the color wheel. If you look at my color wheel here, they're like opposing practically, okay? They're like complete different ends here. Okay, so they're very, very contrasting, which makes it very clear to define silhouette, even with these really bombastic colors, okay? And then the other thing is, if you notice, about 80% of his subject, meaning Venom, I'm going to do it in red here, 80% of the subject here is basically just like really, really dark values. And then there are certain regions that aren't dark values that draw the attention of the eye, and that's where he's putting a lot of the focus. But if you look at this, Like if you squint your eyes and you look at this, I'll give you the opportunity. Squint your eyes and look at that, and you'll be able to distinguish the shadow regions and the light regions a lot better by squinting your eyes, okay? So you can see the clear separation of where he wants your eye to go. He clearly wants your eye to sort of track in this region around here on the outside, okay? And so he's created like this clear division with his shadow shapes. And you can detail in the shadow and stuff like that, but he's still keeping like the general value in a similar range, okay? I'm soaking up knowledge I'll never use. All this to say, contrast helps direct the eye to where you want people to look. And it doesn't have to be contrast like that. It could be contrast in a face, right? If I put a lot of detail in the face, and then I go very light on the features of the body, you're going to likely look at that face a lot more than other places, right? I'll give you another example from a drawing I did. So if you look at this drawing, the darkest region, or the region with the most contrast, is going to be the eyes. I've got a lot of really pure darks in there, and I've got a lot of like really like detail in the face, right? And there's detail in other areas, but it's nowhere near as concentrated. Like there's a high amount of sort of like focus in this area. The eye is led here. And if you look at all of the gestures and stuff, they're all sort of leading the eye in that direction. So all of these gestures sort of lead back up into the face. Even this arm shoots up into the face. This one curves up like this. I'm leading the eye with all these flows and motions, okay? And you get this sort of organic movement towards the area that you want your character to look at. So another thing that you could apply to your pose here is essentially to create a stronger form or gesture within the pose. And I think what you could do is if you brought this guy's arm down, you would create like a nice flow going from the shoulder up into this subject up here, and then you could have these subjects be like the focal area. So you could lighten them up, and if you brought this arm down, my guess is it would read, maybe that's not the right brush for that, it would read a little bit clearer in terms of gesture. So if I bring this arm down, and then I bring this in like this, to me, that reads a little bit clearer in terms of like where I want the character to look. Now, I just put like a blob in here just because I want to sort of demonstrate my point, okay? But the idea is if you want the readability to work at a distance, I also think if you took this hair thing and you flipped it, so that it came up behind him like this, it would flow a lot more nicer into sort of the whole pose. That may be doing too much. You can honestly, you could probably just take it and shift it over a little bit. I do like that you have sort of this negative space in here, so you're conscious of tangents and all that stuff. But I just think the overall pose, there are too many sort of like things distracting from where you should be looking, right? Like if I lighten it up, it's a lot harder to tell where I should be looking. Whereas if I darken everything around and I lighten up just sort of the two figures here, it becomes a lot more obvious where I want people to look at. I'm going to darken things even more. Right? That versus that. Which one leads the eye a little bit clearer? And it doesn't have to be this exact way that you like accent your characters, right? But this is just sort of an example of a trick that you can employ to lead the eye in a direction. You create contrast in focal areas, right? Another one is color contrast, which was the one we explored with De Rosa. So I'm going to give you some notes based off of things that I think are high value that you could apply to get a lot of bang for your buck here. One of them being, I think if you brought this arm down, you would have a stronger gesture. You could bring this arm up, actually, and I think it would work fine. I think right now, the issue is because this arm goes out this way, it sort of breaks up any flow going into the character. I honestly don't even mind if you bring this arm, if you want to keep these arms asymmetrical, and you bring this arm up like this and have him sort of do something like that, I think that would work also. Okay, so it's not really about just Snack says I have to bring the arm down like this, therefore I have to bring the arm down like this. What I really want you to think about is sort of the feeling of the movement going up through the character. If you elevated his shoulder here, okay, and you created a sort of like curve here, it would also sort of help lead the eye up to the face a little bit more. These are just little things that I think you can employ. So, gestural flow would be a note. I'll just put gesture and flow. I'm going to put focal area. And this is up to you. Where do you want the character, the viewer to look, right? Create high contrast in focal areas, either using value or color. Focal area. And I guess what would be the last? I'll just put contrast of value or color. I think otherwise it's pretty nice. I do like the sort of the shapes on the nose here. I think she could probably use a nostril. I guess it just depends stylistically how you want to do it. I think she could probably use a nostril though. I think your highlights are could be improved in terms of where you're putting the values on the face. Typically what I do is I would if I'm rendering the face here, normally what I like to do is I like to sort of have sort of like darker values here, almost like she's got sort of like a flushed face, and then get a little bit lighter as we're going up towards the forehead. So if I just take something like this. But I would even things out a little bit. And then what you can do is if you want to add sort of like some highlights, I think what you could do is there are certain areas on the face that catch a lot of light. And the reason they do is if this corner of the eye here, you can push the values pretty high here. The reason being is because you have a tear duct, and so you end up getting a lot of moisture in that region. And because of that, you tend to get this sort of like line. And if you look at Arcane or like a lot of like Riot style characters, they have that look where they have these sort of like tear duct sort of plane transitions here. Going up to the nose, we can elevate the value a little bit. You know, look at some black and white pictures of faces and try to identify where the value figures or where the values are on those faces, you know. Where the darks are, where the lights are, how much of the darks you're using, how little, you know, all that good stuff. And I think if you do stuff like that, it'll help sort of give you better educated guesses on where to place your shapes. You know? Anyways. I don't want to overwhelm you. This is just sort of like a little thing I would do. So I'll send you this for now, because that's quite a bit. Hopefully that helps. And with that, guys, it's been 3 hours. It's a weeknight. You guys know the deal. On school nights, I tend to go a little later or a little shorter on my stream. So I think what I'm gonna do is we're probably gonna raid out, and then we're gonna resume tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. School nights. That's right. School nights. No, that's just my term for work nights. Okay. I don't have work tomorrow, but I did have work today, and I got some shit I gotta do because I haven't done anything today. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time for a longer stream, and let's find somebody to raid out to, guys. Who do you guys want to raid out to? Let's see what we got. Any of my moots live? Rest is important. Yeah, speaking of, dude, isn't it like 2 a.m. for you? You gotta go to bed, bro. Thanks for the stream. No worries, no worries. All right, let's raid out to I'm gonna do a new person just because I've raided a lot of the people that I follow that are live right now. So let's raid into what's this person doing? I had a pre-roll. They look like they're drawing some pretty cool shit though, so we might actually raid into them. I'm just waiting for this ad to stop running and then we'll raid in. They're an amazing artist, dude. I'm hyping it up, but I'm just sorry, I can't not look at them because the pre-roll ad or whatever. Okay, we're gonna raid in to Furiaxi? I don't know how to pronounce that. Raid Furiaxi. And I will catch you guys all tomorrow. If you're not in the Discord, if you want to get live notifications to know when I'm going live next, I mean, and you want to know my schedule, it's all in the Discord. If you want live critiques, all that good stuff, feel free to join the Discord. And with that, I bid you all adieu. We will catch you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all for coming, everybody, and see you there. Bye-bye.